Okay. So, as we begin here, the 10, if you want to know what Burning Man is supposed to be based on, and what I try, and a lot of people that I know, would you say the majority of people try to adhere to those, or would you say it's less than the majority?
Mm, I'd say the majority, just by not even by seeing it happen, but seeing the aftermath.
Yeah. Well, there are certain things you
Yep.
kind of have to adhere to because it's some
You would
things
die.
aren't there. Um, but the things that like are on yourself to do, those are the things that kind of can fall by the wayside. Okay.
Yeah,
Welcome back.
I would say. I mean, I think you were in my chat earlier when I said this, but like there is a little, I wouldn't say the majority, I would say definitely the minority of people. But
Mhm.
there is a little bit of hypocrisy when it gets to the end of the week and everyone's tired and everyone's grumpy and everybody wants a shower.
Yes.
And
No, the
like,
longer the week goes on, the less people care about like, picking up moop and
mhm.
like becoming, being really inclusive about things and all that kind of shit. So let's just go through them, okay? Real quick. So the first principle is radical inclusion. And it says anyone may be a part of Burning Man. We welcome and respect the stranger. No prerequisites exist for participation in our community. I think that is the first and probably the most important principle is everyone is welcome. Every single person is welcome. I don't know why they choose radical at the front. Maybe it's because I need to look up the word radical and see what it means. But
Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Radical is another way of saying spontaneous at any time, not at your behest.
let me see.
Right?
Radical. Let's see. Relating to or affecting the fundamental nature of something. Far-reaching or thorough. Oh, okay. Far-reaching or thorough.
Like that was way better than mine.
So that's the first definition is thorough. So like thorough inclusion, like yeah, that
Everybody.
makes total sense.
Truly everybody.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna send you a link.
Picture time, ZK.
Please don't send
This
me.
might,
Not right
no.
now. I can't handle another thing.
You'll love it.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Another thing to add to the list. All right. I think I have uploaded the last one. Now all I have to do is go through them and get rid of the boobs and dicks.
Which is
Okay.
so sad because there were some that
Well-
was one thing I loved about out there. I was talking about this really early this morning. I don't know if you're in my chat yet, but one of the weirdest, like relaxing, kind of weirdly freeing things out there was I dress the way I want. You know this. Like I
Yeah.
pretty much dress kind of Burning Man-y at home. Like I just don't I'm very free with my body. I don't have a lot of qualms about it. But out there, it was the first time in my perceivable life where I didn't have to think in the morning, like, are my nipples covered? Are my butt cheeks hanging out? Who the fuck is going to be offended? It
Right.
didn't matter. I could just put some clothes on that were comfortable and go about my day. And that was so fucking wildly freeing.
Yeah.
Coming from this like world of like the nipple. Oh my God.
No, it absolutely is. And that's one of the things I love about it because I'm a fan of boobs. I like looking at boobs and butts and all that kind of stuff. And
Who isn't?
it's nice to have a place where people can like, throw those boobs out into the world and I can go, them some nice titties in the same fashion I would say, I like your shoes. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
And they would literally respond as if you said something so benign as your shoes are dope.
Well, and people take it in the manner that it was intended.
Mm-hmm.
It's a compliment, and it's so many people are doing it. It's you'd have to work hard to be creepy about it out there because there's
Yeah.
boobs everywhere.
Literally, yeah. It's like, yeah, free. It's weird.
Okay,
It was
Kino
weird.
Ghoul has a question that you might be able to answer. There, we both can
Mhm.
answer, I suppose. Question: I know there are a lot of rich folks who go to it. How problematic do they tend to be? Because I've heard none pleasant things about how they contribute to Burning Man. Kino Ghoul, this was my 5th time out there. And I have yet to encounter someone I knew was rich out there. I'll just tell you that. The rich people who do go out there and do like glamping, or they call them plug and play, meaning they don't set up anything. They have people set it up for them and they just come out.
Hell
and
yeah,
then they
till
leave
you
and
got back Zaddy Zeke kiss.
they have people like that tear down for them and shit like that. That's like when they go out on the play, kind of everybody is pretty much equal and kind of anonymous. So as far as that goes, like you don't see it unless you go to their camp, I guess. But as far as that goes, like it's one of those things like it's kind of a faux pas to tell people how to do their burn. Like, don't tell me how to burn. I won't tell you how to burn your thing. But it is like you want to remind them of, like, you know, the principles of the thing. It's like, you know, one of the main principles is radical self-reliance. Burning Man encourages the individual to discover, exercise, and rely on their inner resources. And if you are a plug and play rich person that comes out and doesn't set up anything and doesn't have to, you know, fend for yourself, it kind of goes against that principle, you know, the reliance principle.
Are you guys talking about Diplo and Chris Rock? Ever? I mean, some people are soft. It's okay.
Okay, I think I've got it now. I'm just gonna do one last one last go through to make sure that I didn't miss any boobs, dicks, or people who don't want to be pictured. I think I'm pretty good now.
Babe, this is a really good question. I would answer absolutely, but I want you to answer this one.
Okay.
Could you do Burning Man for less than $1,000? I mean, I'd love it, but I would say yes.
Yes, you absolutely can. Unless you count the ticket price, because the ticket price, I mean, it's not a cheap ticket. Like, it was $450, I think.
Yeah.
But if you're not counting the ticket price, yes. And the way you would do it is pawn shop, thrift stores, secondhand stores, garage sales, all that type of shit. I like my first burn, I did it for, I think, $1,500, ticket included, because I got everything used. It wasn't the best, you know, like I didn't get the best equipment and shit like that, but I made it out there. All you really need, like, there are like, depending on your camp, there are a few things you absolutely need: water, food, tent, something to sleep in. Even a bike is not absolutely necessary. I mean, you should bring a bike if you can, but you can walk everywhere if you want to, if that's, you know, if you can't get a bike. But if you can bring enough water and food and a place to sleep for yourself, you can burn. Like, it's, and I'll say this, like, the first time out, it's going to be probably your most expensive, but then you have the equipment for subsequent burns after that.
Yeah, the way I kind of compared it, because this is my first burn ever, is I said feels very much like Ren Fair in a much less like critical, serious manner. But like, if you guys are Ren Fairers goers as myself, and you are one with the garb, if you bought all your garb one year, it'd be thousands of fucking dollars, like tens of thousands of dollars, because everything there is like handmade leather goods and beautiful fucking hand embroidered corsets and stuff like that. So the way I've like built my garb outfit is every year I buy one little piece, and I'm like, okay, next year I'm gonna get that little piece, and it slowly builds the whole fucking outfit as you go, because I'm not rolling in billions. Like, how the fuck? But
Yeah.
I love that it's high quality stuff. I believe it's worth what it's costs, and it's the same kind of like, this year we got really nice bikes, and holy fuck, I was just talking, like, my pussy was bruised. I cannot imagine what it was like for people with little tires. Oh my Jesus vagina.
Well, now that I have the means to get quality equipment, it's nice to have it. It really is. We got our bikes were those we got them from Cabela's, but they're those big, like, they're like motorcycle tires. They're huge.
Yeah.
They're big, fat, and the reason why they work so well is because the surface area connecting to the playa, or connecting to the ground, is it's a lot more surface area. So if you roll over like the patches like of dusty dunes or whatever, it affects you way less than it does in a smaller tired bike. And my God, 4 years of doing like a mountain bike or beach cruiser bike and then going to this, it is well worth it if you can afford it to get a big wheel bike. Seriously.
Oh my God. Watching all these other people like get stuck in the sand traps with their tiny tires or like try to do the moguls. They'd be like standing on their bikes like I was building bike seat covers out of a cannibalized like mascot costume that Zach had ordered. It was like ripped or something. He didn't want it anymore. I started chopping arms off and like folding it into pillows and
Yeah.
sewing them onto people's bike seats and shit
Yeah.
because everybody was miserable. Like our everything hurt.
Yeah.
It was a lot. And bike seats, like when the fuck have you sat on a comfortable bike seat that came with a bike? We were talking about this in the car. I
Yeah.
don't think it's real.
It's rare. It's like if you get a banana seat, I guess. Or if you get like a recumbent bicycle. Like recumbent bicycles have like a full chair you sit in, but you're like super low to the ground, you know? But that's what I want for my bike. I want to like figure out a way to like monsterize the seat on my bike so it's like a chair somehow. Okay, so Gomi said it's like a week-long hippie commune. And you're not 100% wrong. But there's more to it than that. And I'm just going to go through the principles real quick. I won't go like into detail. So just going through the principles real quick. Okay, so we did radical inclusion, gifting. Burning Man is devoted to acts of gift giving. The value of a gift is unconditional. Gifting does not contemplate a return or an exchange for something of equal value. That is something that I learned from Burning Man, what a gift actually is. A gift is not this for that. It is not, I give you something on your birthday, so you give me something on my birthday. A gift is, this is yours, fucking throw it in the garbage if you want. This is a gift to you. I expect zero in return. Not even gratitude. Zero.
Yeah, you don't even have to say thank you.
Yeah. It taught me what an actual gift is, and that's how I give gifts now. I give gifts, and if they never use it, if they burn it in front of me, if they spit in my face or whatever, it's a gift. Next principle is decommodification. Decommodification is a big word that basically means no advertising. In order to preserve...
Good morning, Zeke and Chad, I love you.
Thank you very much, Esteban. In order to preserve the spirit of gifting, our community seeks to create social environments that are unmediated by commercial sponsorships, transactions, or advertising. We stand ready to protect our culture from such exploitation. We resist the substitution of consumption for participatory experience. So that you will see no brand names out there. Like okay, hold on. You will see brand names, but they're accidental or they're non on purpose. So you'll see like U-Haul trucks or you'll see like moving vans. You'll see that and they'll have their brand on the side. However, you won't see like, coffee from Starbucks or breakfast sandwiches from McDonald's. You'll see none of that, zero of that. And you more often than not, you'll see them make fun of it. Like you'll have one year I went, they had a camp called Scar Butts and it was Starbucks, but you go in there and they spank you and they give you a cup of coffee. Yeah.
You had your ass photographed. What was that for?
That was, I don't remember what camp that was.
Oh, you got
for.
a stamp.
Yeah.
On your ass.
Yes.
It was beautiful.
Radical self-reliance, we went through that. Radical self-expression arises from the unique gifts of the individual. No one other than the individual or collaborating group can determine its content. It is offered as a gift to others. In this spirit, the giver should respect the rights and liberties of the recipient. That's radical self-expression. Communal effort. Our community values creative cooperation and collaboration. We strive to produce, promote, and protect social networks, public spaces, works of art, and methods of communication that support such interaction. Civic responsibility. We value civil society. Community members who organize events should assume responsibility for public welfare and endeavor to communicate civic responsibilities to participate. They must also assume responsibility for conducting events in accordance with local, state, and federal laws. Leaving no trace. Our community respects the environment. We are committed to leaving no physical trace of our activities wherever we gather. We clean up after ourselves and endeavor, whenever possible, to leave such places in a better state than when we found them. Participation. Our community is committed to a radically participatory ethic. We believe that transformative change, whether in the individual or in society, can occur only through the medium of deeply personal participation. We achieve being through doing. Everyone is invited to work. Everyone is invited to play. We make the world real through actions that open the heart. That one, woof, that one gets me.
hits.
That one hits
Yeah.
hard for me.
Yeah.
And then immediacy. Immediate experience is, in many ways, the most important touchstone of value in our culture. We seek to overcome barriers that stand between us and a recognition of our inner selves, the reality of those around us, participation in society, and contact with the natural world exceeding human powers. No idea can substitute for this experience. Now, that one takes me a long time to figure out, but the basic gist for me of immediacy is do it now. Don't wait. Do it now.
Stop talking about it.
Yep. Stop talking about it. Stop saying I will, and go do.
Yeah. Or we should, or
yeah.
All that the non-committal language you use when you're waiting for something better to come along.
Exactly.
Do it. Stop talking about it. Just fucking do it. You can. You literally, like we were just talking about that before we joined the call. There's nothing you can't do out there as long as you're not impeding on someone else's good time. So, like, just go do it. I'm tired of hearing you talk about it. Fucking do it. And like Zach and I are those Zeke, excuse me, who the fuck is Zach? We're the type of person that if you say it enough, we're gonna drag you to it. Like you keep talking about that pink cat. Oh, where are we going? That fucking pink cat. Oh, we didn't need to go to the. No, you haven't shut up about the pink cat. We're doing the pink cat. Let's go.
Yep.
It's fucking refreshing, and I live for it.
Okay.
I love the immediacy thing as it, like I said earlier, it's ADHD fucking heaven crack. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Find the shiny thing.
Let's play Find the Shiny.
Find the shiny. I was talking about this earlier, the decommodification. This was a big one in my chat. We were talking about this. I just wanted to read it one more time for you guys. In order to preserve the spirit of gifting, our community seeks to create social environments that are unmediated by commercial sponsorships, transactions, or advertising. We stand ready to protect our culture from such exploitation. We resist the substitution of consumption for participatory experience. And it is so strongly like held out there. I was telling my chat this, one of the coolest things. It was cool, but also a little frustrating, but something it's like part of the principles is accepting what is out of your control. Is that you might see the fucking most moving spiritual art piece that like gave you a boner, made you shit your pants, piss, vomit, die, go to heaven, come back, tell your stories, and you have no idea who made it, and it burns tonight, and you will never have any idea who made it.
Yeah,
there's no
a lot
names,
of the artwork,
there's no tag.
A lot of the beautiful artwork you might see through this photo album, like
it's gone.
It burned, like they'll burn it down. It's crazy. Like how beautiful it is, and how like they're just like light it on fire. It's amazing. Okay, do you have my stream hold up?
Yep.
Okay.
It's perfect.
Cool. All right, so we got the first photo. It's just a sunset. A lot of these are going to be like scenery and shit and don't really require an explanation. But this is sunset on one of the first days. As you can see, like a lot of the shit is not like done yet. It's because this is photos during build week, and build week is the week before the actual burn starts on Sunday. People come previous and build their camps up, so you'll see it go from like nothing to like everything in a week. How come Katie's in a call? Because she was there with me. This is the first time I actually went with somebody. Okay.
Bitch, you want to fight about it?
This looks like on the way. Someone took a picture on the way to Burning Man, or like
me,
something like that.
That was the sunrise.
Oh, these are your pictures. Okay, your pictures are going to be first then.
Yep. So this was the sunrise. It was about 6 a.m. when we were driving into Burning Man. So this was when my heart and soul just woke up again, and I didn't feel like I was dying anymore.
What's the absolute worst thing about it?
And nighttime like is so boring, and I get so tired. But yeah, it was just beautiful sunrise. That was it.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, you haven't missed shit because I had to convert about 20 something fucking Apple iPhone files to, shit that my computer can read. So you didn't miss anything. We're only on the second picture or third picture, whatever. All right. Fashions asked, we hear a lot about how great Burning Man is. What is the absolute worst thing about it? The absolute worst thing about it, honestly, is the environment. The fucking Playa, it's desert, it's dust, it can get super fucking hot, it can get pretty goddamn cold at night. And the Playa dust is filled with alkali. And what alkali does is it affects your skin, like the things that touch it, like my fingers, my toes, my heels, anything that the Playa dust sits on for too long will have an effect on it. Now, it's not painful, but it is annoying because these three fingers right here, the tips of them are just slightly numb. Same with these. These are my fingers that I use like most, use on most stuff. My pinchies. And my toes, like my big toe and my heel, also a little bit numb. It goes away. Don't get me wrong. It goes away. And you can neutralize a lot of that effect with vinegar. Like people bring, one of the things that I suggest that you bring to Burning Man is white vinegar. You mix white vinegar with water, you do a soak or a spray, and you spray off your appendages after a day on the Playa, because that's what the alkali does. It makes your it makes your skin. What does it do? You probably have a better explanation for it.
The alkali of it?
Yeah.
It kills your skin.
Yeah.
It's just like, literally, it's just layers of dead skin.
Yep.
And what happens is if you don't neutralize it, it's like in your cuticles under your fingernail, and it starts getting in the deeper layers of your skin. So literally what Zach has been experiencing for years now is that he didn't know to do these vinegar soaks on his feet afterwards. He just thought, like, wash your feet. The sand should come off, right? And it went so deep that his feet, he can just like peel a layer that is like pretty impressively thick off the bottom of his foot, and it's just dead skin.
It's like my heel has like a
kept going.
centimeter of callus on it.
Yeah. Trench foot, I think, is something similar. It's just like lots.
But trench foot hurts, doesn't it?
Your feet fucking hurt, boo.
No. That's after a day out there and walking and stuff.
I think trench foot is like, wouldn't it be this? I
don't know. But whatever it is, it's really not that bad. It's just a little bit like annoying, I suppose. Like for me at least. I mean, and people go back year after year after year. So like if you're diligent and you take care of it, you can minimize the effects of the Playa dust on your fingers and toes. But yeah, as far as the worst part about Burning Man, that's it. Also, people get heat stroke a lot out there because they forget to drink water in the hot sun. So that's why everybody carries around a Camelback or some sort of liquid, because that is the number one injury or malady, I guess, that you get out there is heat stroke and or tripping on tent stakes. Those are the two like biggies as far as minor injuries go. Yeah.
Lots of tennis balls, and lots of camps build structures. Like Barbie Death Camp had like Barbies impaled on their tent stakes and shit, so people can't kill themselves on them because they're fucking everywhere.
Yep.
Pro tip, Zach actually mentioned this, I think, earlier, the electrolytes plus water. Pickles, my dudes. Holy shit.
Yeah.
We bought like the big like 48-ounce jar of pickles like as a snack. We mowed them and drank the jar because the like vinegar in it helped like neutralize the fucking dust we were just consuming on a daily basis, because it's literally on every part of you, ever, all your food, everything.
Yeah. There's no way around consuming Playa dust. There's absolutely no, like, unless you like travel the entire Playa in a hazmat suit, you will eat dust.
Yep.
And it makes you stronger.
You don't notice it. You don't even notice it.
Yeah.
It's not gritty. It's so fine. It's not like getting sand in your mouth.
It's chalk dust.
Yeah. It's so fine and soft. Like, you have no idea.
Yep. And thank you,
everything.
Powerhouse G. It said, Ezekiel, good strong name. Thank you. It is, you're right. Okay, next pictures. Let's see. Poop! This is one of the art installations. Someone just set up a digital, like one of those old-timey digital clock faces. And if you go around the back of it, you can change, let's see, how many are there? There's 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. There's 7 little segments, right? 3 on top, 3 on the bottom, and a middle segment. You can change all of those to say, or whatever number, whatever you want, whatever you can make with that. And inevitably, poop stands usually the longest. People will go back and change it to poop if it says 7 or 1337, leet. and then someone will eventually go back and change it to poop again. And boob and boob.
We saw boob.
But boob is like, is that 8008 or is that boob? I mean, of course it's boob, but you know what I'm saying.
It's boob, but like on your calculator, you could make it boobs with a 5, and it was like a little bit more exciting, right?
Yeah. All right. So that was one of the art installations. Oh, this is our marathoner. This is our super marathoner.
Yeah, this is our campmate.
This is Rob.
This psycho.
The camp is called Pink Lightning. They're the ones who run, like they oversee the marathons and all the races and stuff. They're also the ones who oversee the Naked Mile that happens on Friday, I believe.
Can you give us a zoom on that so we can see him and less of everything else?
Yeah. There you go.
Hell yeah.
Yep. There's our super marathoner, Rob. He's great.
Yep. This is motherfucking Rob. He ran 31 miles-ish. It's like it's an ultra marathon. And
he is not trained. He does not do this.
Doesn't train, but does this for funsies.
He did this last year, and he did it this year. It's like the year before, he was like, I've run 10 miles before. What's 30 gonna be?
Do this.
And he just does it. Just goes out and does it. He just eats a whole bunch of fucking protein. Like he was eating like cans of tuna like the day before, like by the like mouth, just like nom, nom.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say. For anyone out there who's a runner, like for me, I've had my best run ever after eating a cinnamon roll the size of my ass cheek. Like carbs, give me those fucking sugars, fast, available fuel. This motherfucker's pre-run meal is a rotisserie chicken.
Yep, a whole chicken.
He peels people in his basement is all I gotta say about that.
Yeah. All right,
maybe
next.
Allegedly.
Oh, that's a good shot. Good shot of that's Temple.
The temple. Oh, that's the temple this year. That was, correct me if I'm wrong, laser cut, right?
Yes.
Like a massive scale laser cut.
Yep. Each panel is, they put it through a laser cutter or water cutter or something like that. And then they attached all the panels and stuff. Now, Temple is by far one of the coolest places on the Playa every year. They always have a temple. And it's called Temple because it's non-denominational. It is a place of spirituality, not necessarily a place of worship, but it's a place of spirituality. And the burners go out there, me personally, every year, you go out there and you bring a pen, a Sharpie, pictures, whatever. It's a place to say goodbye. It's a really super powerful place. Like you walk in there, and I'm, you know me, guys. I'm an atheist. I'm not like super spiritual or anything like that. But you like it would be tough to walk into a place like this, or like the other place I compared it to was like that. There's an old church in Cologne, Germany, like old, fuck, hundreds of years old church. Like you just walk into the place and you feel like the power and like the majesty and the legacy and all that kind of shit right when you walk in. And it's kind of a weird, indescribable feeling. That you feel, and you walk in there and people are quiet, reverent. A lot of people are crying. People are milling about, looking at stories, looking at pictures, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to, and I've done it every year, you go in there and you write something or post something on the, staple something on the wall or whatever that you want to let go of, say goodbye to, whatever. Some people do like personality traits. I've seen people like, people like goodbye to heroin forever or whatever, like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or like my dog. I loved my dog. I'm gonna put a picture of my dog up there and say like, you were such a good boy, yada yada yada. Like it is one of my favorite places and a mandatory visit anytime you go out to the burn. Do you want to say any more?
Heart out. No, it was wonderful. Like I had such an unexpected response going into that thing. Like I knew what it was. We went like literally the day before the rain hit, so we didn't go when it was terrible. But we went with a couple friends, and everybody kind of warned me and prepared me. But like, holy shit, the whole inside of it is written on or has a picture posted on it, or for instance someone put a recorder with their mom's last voicemail on it and like a note about their mother who passed away from cancer, like it. And you could hit play and listen to their mom's voice. Anything and everything is in there. But the things I think you kind of need, like, not in like a super, like, Jesus-y way, but like the things that highlight and stand out to you are kind of things you needed to read, and holy fuck, it will tear your heart out and shit on it.
Yeah, like
it was wild.
First, to answer the one question, do they burn it? Yes, they do. We didn't get a chance to see it this year because they had to move all the burns. We got to see we saw the man burn, but if we were going to see temple burn, we had planned on it, but they had moved it even further, like one more day, and we would have to stay another 24 hours, and it was just too much. And we had planned on seeing it, but yes, they do burn the temple every year, and I'm sad that we didn't get to see it, and I'm sad that more so that sad that Katie didn't get to see it, because it is a solemn event and it is fucking powerful. Now, as far as what you put in there and what you say goodbye to, that's all very personal, and you can share it if you want. Yes, Super Sea Line. One year I went there to say goodbye to my dad. And this year I said, I wrote something on the wall in relation to Katie. As far as I wanted to say goodbye to the feeling of I'm gonna try and keep it together here, of being unworthy of love. It's a feeling that I've struggled with, and I don't think I'll ever feel that again. Even if Katie and I don't end up together, I will never feel unworthy of love again. So I say goodbye to that. And that's what I'm saying, man. It's powerful shit. Powerful shit. But yeah, it's a hell of a thing. Oh. Oh. Incoming hug. I love you. Oh. Oh, and I hope you got a good taste of my forehead sweat. But yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, dude, like, walking through there is I mean, I dare you not to tear up or choke up at something, because it's not just like saying goodbye to dead things, loved ones or stuff like that. It's people who transform, or want to transform. A lot of addiction, a lot of suicide. Like, people are suicide survivors. I've seen quite a bit of that. Like, you can do, I did it, you can do it. Like, that kind of shit. Very, very uplifting messages at times. It's really, really cool. Anywho, are you back? Oh, you're still here. Man, I'm going to get so laid tonight. You guys don't even know. It's awesome. My ruse is working. I might even get a little finger in my butt if I play my cards right. Maybe a big finger in my butt. Oh, someone wants to join in. Come here. Someone wants to join in for the hugs. Yes. Oh, yes, we missed you. We missed our puppies too. Yes, we did. Oh, yeah. Yes, we did. We missed you guys. They had fun though. They had fun. They hung out they had 3 other dogs. 3? 4.
Yeah.
Was it 4 other dogs?
Yeah.
4 other dogs to hang out with. And they went paddleboarding, apparently.
They love water.
Yeah. Are you going to take a break? Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Well, if she's going to take a break, I should probably take a break too. It's a little early, but
you're over there cutting onions. It's fine. You're fine. I'm fine. Shut up.
So you're going to take a break then, hun?
Yeah, I need to run an ad and I need to pee real bad if that's okay. And maybe
that's
blow
fine.
my nose and have a little bit of a scream cry. It's fine.
Okay, we'll all take a break then. We'll get up, take a little second here, recompose ourselves, and then we'll come back and we'll go through more Burning Man pictures. We got tons and lots of stories too.
Lots.
Yeah.
Like we're starting with the serious savvy shit.
Well,
like,
no.
You're all like, this is not the Burning Man I thought was gonna. Like, don't worry.
Well, these pictures are out of order is the thing. Like we're doing your pictures first, and then the pictures from the Apple or from the Google Drive or Google Photos. They're all in like chronological order. So we're doing yours first, and then the chronological ones from like three or four people from the camp.
How come it's always my fault?
It's not your fault. Yes, it is. I'm sorry. It's your fault. All right. Sergeant Schultz, thank you for the 63 months. I am Providence with 12. It's my water. Thank you for 6. I'll be right back. Stick around. More Burning Man and resettled. If you guys got any questions, mods, if you would be so kind as to, yes, there you go. Post any questions that I missed that are good questions. Go ahead and post them in the on-air chat. One of the questions was, do you have to join a camp or can you burn solo? How would one do either? Yes, you can absolutely burn solo. You will be probably set back. Let's see. I could probably give you a visual aid here. Okay, so that is the setup of Burning Man. Right in the center here is the man. That's where the man lies, is right in the middle. But this is how the camping is set up. And each street, like each curve of the street, by the way, this way. Oh, this way. There we go. Each curve of the street has a letter assigned to it. The innermost ring, the front street right here is called Esplanade. It's the one, that's the street reserved for camps that are big, have been there, they have seniority, all of that shit. And then it goes from Esplanade, it goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, blah, 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 until the very end. So if you're solo camping, you'll probably be on one of the back rows, is where they usually put you if you're doing solo stuff. We were on 745 and D is where we were. So let's see. It's right around there is where we were. 745 and D Street. So that's how you know where you're camped at, is they give you an address. 730 and F, 4 o'clock and E, that kind of stuff. But yes, you can solo camp. I kind of want to do that because every year I've been with a camp of like 12 or more people. One year I was with Costume Cult, which was right on Esplanade, a New York based camp. They've been there forever, and they had 100+ people in their camp. And it was a completely different experience than camping with 12 or whatever. And I have not solo camped yet. So I kind of want to try that and see what I think about that, because there is less to build. And once you're set up, you can just go explore and do shit. Whereas with a camp, you usually have duties of some sort. Like in our camp, we did a lemonade stand. So we gifted out lemonade from noon to 3 every day. And everybody had a shift. Like my shift was on Thursday. So from noon to 3 on Thursday, we'll see pictures of it. I did the lemonade shift. And also my camp job was I was in charge of the generator. We had a generator there so people could charge their random whatevers, phones and whatnot. So I was in charge of the generator. So if someone wanted me to turn on the generator, they would come and ask me, and I'd turn it on for a few hours, let people charge their shit, yada, yada, yada. Costume Cult was 2019, I believe. No, yeah, 2018. Because then I split off, then Batcave split off from them in 2019. Yes. So I went 2 years with a camp called Camp Family Hug, which is an awesome name. So I went those 2 years. That was 14, 15. And then 18, 19, I went with Costume Cult. 2019, I went with Batcave when they split off. And then I'm back with Batcave. We went back with Batcave this year. And you'll understand why it's called Batcave after we show you some of the pictures that are coming up. Does it sell out? Yes, it does sell out. there is a finite number of people who can go to Burning Man, and I'm not sure how they decide that, but there are a limited number of tickets available.
Glad to see you made it back okay,
Sorry.
Smile.
Are you back?
Is that a joke?
Okay. No, I had that my voice channel
Welcome
for Discord.
back.
I had
Happy
it
to
muted
see
on
you
accident.
two are okay.
Okay. I was just talking about solo camping or can you solo camp? You have to go with a camp, blah 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 blah.
Oh, I could hear you. I had your channel up.
Oh, sorry.
we
Did
just made fun
Katie
of
get
you.
a Playa name?
No.
Sort of. But it did. You can pick whether you want it to stick or not. I have a Playa name out there that I've had for the last 4 times I've been out there. My Playa name is Montana. So most people out there, that's how I introduce myself to people out there. And the reason why I got Montana is because the camp I went with were San Francisco based. So they viewed me as like a small townish kind of a hick. And they would call me just by the place I came from. They're like, they would, yell at me, Montana, hurry up. Montana, get that. Blah, blah, blah. So it just became Montana, and that's how I introduced myself. But people started calling Katie Squeaker or Squeaks because she was out there barking lemonade, meaning like, we got lemonade, come get your lemonade. And she would say all these awesome random things. And she screamed herself a little bit hoarse. So she was out there squeaking. And people would ride by, call her Squeaks or Squeaker. And it was great.
The night before was the Death Cage?
Thunderdome.
What was it? Thunderdome, yeah. So I'd already like pre-destroyed my voice.
Yeah, we yelled at Thunderdome.
We're gonna
Oh
have to deal
fuck,
with
we didn't
lags,
have
otherwise I
we
hear my
didn't
echo,
take
my dude. I'm
pictures of
sorry, it's
Thunderdome.
terrible.
We took no pictures of Thunderdome, unfortunately, because
I was having a good fucking time.
well, you're having a good time, but also like you're up on like we climbed up on the dome of Thunderdome, and if I pulled my phone out to take a picture, there's a chance that I could have fucking dropped it into the Thunderdome, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to like risk that, so I fucking took no pictures of it. But we'll tell you stories about it. It was great. It was great. How do you find a camp? Do you just turn up and ask to join in? How you find a camp is you find a burner. If you can find a burner friend or something like that. And then you ask like, hey, who are you going with? And that's usually how it works. It's like, hey, you want to come to the burn with our camp? Yeah, sure. But a lot of times, like if you are anywhere near a city of any like size, you can bet there's a burner community associated with that city. If it's a city of like, I want to say like 100,000, 200,000 or more, there's a burner community probably near that place. And you can find them by Google searching, I'm guessing, and hooking up with them and asking them like, can I come camp with you? And shit like that. I'm sure that's how a lot of it happens. If you want to do a camp with someone that's near you. I chose to, and I have chosen for the past 5 years to drive in. So I have, a little bit more freedom, mobility. Like if I want to leave, I can. I mean, weather permitting, of course. And that kind of stuff. So I have the freedom of like, picking up and going, and I'm only responsible for my stuff. I don't have to, worry about, getting my shit stored or getting on a plane or getting on the burner bus or anything like that. I can drive in and drive out. But tons and tons of people use like storage units, or with a bigger camp like Custom Cult, they have like semi trailers full of crates that they just truck in, and they distribute them once you get there. So all of your tents, your costumes, all of your supplies will be on those things that they truck in for you. But I choose to bring all my shit in, bring all my shit out. So I'm only responsible for my stuff, and it's less likely to get lost or broken. Let's see. Scott's. Katie, listen to this. You ready?
Yeah.
Scott said, "Don't ever apologize for not taking enough pictures. It means you were there and you were present." And I love that. That's true. It's very true.
I love that. That is true.
Katie forgot to take pictures most of the time because she was fucking just there, and it was great.
I was like a cartoon character whose eyes bulged out of their skull.
Yeah.
Like just, and like the fact that I'd be like, "What do you want to do, babe?" Anything. Point to the shiny.
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
one of the pastimes for people at Burning Man, not just first timers but any timers, is go out onto the playa. And when we say go out onto the playa, what we mean is, like that picture I showed you, was go out here or further out, like out here, like in this area, and play shiny thing. It's like, hey, shiny thing, let's go look at it, because there are literally hundreds of art installations. People like dancing at art cars, mutant vehicles. We'll get to those. But yeah, and you forget to take pictures because you're just like so quickly hopping from one thing to the next thing. It's awesome. It's really, really cool.
And a lot of things are hopping as well. So like, a good percentage, I hate just fucking pulling random percentages out of my ass, but like I would say over 50% of the cool shit we saw there was on the fly. So like if you didn't have your phone in hand, which like who the fuck does, you saw it, you experienced it, it's gone. And you get to talk about it now. Like how many of those little ghosts from Pac-Man did we see?
I think there was 3 that we saw.
3 total, perfectly constructed. They were art cars, but they moved at the exact speed. The pixels moved perfectly. The colors fluctuated, and they were the little ghosts from Pac-Man. And you would see them just start to move across the playa.
Little golf carts that like had like the Pac-Man ghosts on the side. So when you see him across the playa, really well lit up, you'd see him, and it would look like one of the Pac-Man ghosts was just like cruising across the playa, like Blinky or whatever. It was great.
And by the time you would have stopped your bike, pulled out your phone out of your backpack, and it was gone. Yeah. So like those are only things we can ever tell you about.
Yep.
I can't explain how cool they were though. I think the first time I saw one, I was like, babe, oh my god, look,
Yeah.
Because they look so good.
How has Burning Man changed as those that go get younger? I mean, the most noticeable change about Burning Man is just like the noticeable things about changing decades. The music gets a little different. It's still mostly the same like house stuff, but like it changes a little bit. Like it's getting more and more like people are starting to actually incorporate instruments or singing. There was a bit more hip hop out there this year than there was like in previous burns that I've been. But it's still a lot of house music. But like that kind of stuff changes. Like the music, the styles. Like people bring out different weird styles and they become trends and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's the core of it is pretty much the same. Babe, go ahead.
Remember when we were trying to figure out what the 4th little fucking ghost name was?
Yes.
Clyde.
Fuck, you're right.
Frem did it. I was like, oh fuck.
Nice.
It's like Frem read my mind. I was still trying to figure it out in my head. I'm like, God damn it, what was the last one called?
Okay, do you want to tell the story of this picture?
Oh yeah, I would love to.
And I have all your questions, by the way. I have all your questions that we're gonna answer them.
Yep, this is a quick story. It's just something that I like literally took a second. I dug my phone out of my bag in the middle of like this really cool. They simulated kind of like a Tokyo street of just like nonstop, really small, specialized bars that you could walk through. And some of our friends were bartending for the night, so we were parked and playing darts. I'd never played darts with actual steel darts before. Totally new game, really fucking fun to do. But Zach has played darts like semi like in a little like minor league or whatever.
Bar
like,
league.
Actually, a bar league. There you go. That's how you would say. So he knew a little bit about darts and he was teaching me the different ways people throw and how like I was literally like throwing it at a wall trying to hit this thing. I actually hit pretty close to the bullseye a couple times. Like I got somewhere. And Zach goes casually, he picks up this exact dart and he stands on the little line he's teaching me how to throw and he goes, yeah, so some guys do this fucking thing where they like flick the dart. He does that, and the fucking thing bullseyes. My jaw hit his balls, and he goes, Nah, it doesn't count. It's not where I was aiming.
I wasn't. I was aiming for the. What the fuck? I was aiming for the triple 20, but I hit the fucking red bullseye. So I was like, it's not that big of a deal. She's like, it is a big deal, and I'm like, I wasn't even aiming there, dude.
The fuck? That's a huge deal.
But
shit.
I was showing her like this. How I do it is, I put my foot sideways on the line. I lean forward and I do like 1, 2, salute, and I do like that. But some guys in dart league like hold the dart up sideways, and then they just go, and they throw it like that, like a flick of the wrist. And I did that. I went funk, like right in the fucking red center. And I'm like, she was like, oh my God. I'm like, I wasn't even aiming for that shit. I was aiming for the triple 20.
It. I don't think I've ever seen someone do make a bullseye before in my life, let alone like jokingly flicking a fucking dart at it. And then I like took my phone around to our campmates and I was like, can you believe this fucking shit? Doesn't matter. Had sex.
It doesn't matter. Still counts.
I'm sending you a picture on Discord of the big nice map if you want to like make it your background or something, and you can literally just point to the parts of the playa you're talking about if you care. It's like the Anomalia one.
Okay. Ash Liquor, I'm sorry it took me so long, but I timed out Scott for you. And I haven't seen Sitley in a minute, so when I do Mixie, I'll get that one, and then Mr. Peril, I will get your soundbite in as soon as we're done with this, I guess. It's good to be back, by the way. So before we move on to this next picture, because there's cool stuff involved with this. Mangy Animal asked, was there any "you sweet summer child" moments with CK as this was their first burn? Honestly, not really, because I talk about it so much. It's
true.
I tried to prepare her with,
because I couldn't even hear you on Discord. It wasn't just Twitch. Like your computer did a poopsies.
Okay, should be back now. Yeah, my streaming PC just took a shit for whatever reason. Like just internet. It didn't shut down.
Ooh, Viana said if he asks, it cut off right after he read the question. Were there any "oh you sweet summer child" moments with CK since it was her first burn? And then it literally died at that exact moment.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for that, Viana. That's so fucking helpful.
Yep. Sorry about that, guys. My streaming PC just disconnected from the internet. It didn't shut down or anything. It just went boop. Don't know what happened, but hopefully we're back. And
I see you and a babble.
Cool. No, the sweet summer child moments. And I said, I went on to explain that I told her a lot about the burn beforehand. So she didn't ask any of the typical questions like first time burners say like, where can I buy blank? Or how do I shower? Or yada, yada, yada. Because I talked about it with her at length before we even went. So I left it to you. I posed you the question that you couldn't hear was, do you remember of any moments where I was like, honey, come on?
Yeah, but it was more, it wasn't looking for amenities or something like that. It was like, I would ask a question. I would say something like, well, it's almost 2 a.m. Like, is there food anywhere? Or should we just head back? Like, it'd be a question like that. And you'd give me that look like, oh, sweet summer child. And then we'd find a stand that proprietor waffle cones filled with hot mashed potatoes, Swedish meatballs, and gravy, which they swiftly run out of and then feed you poison schnapps and you die because it's rocket fuel in your throat.
Okay.
That kind of thing. Because you're in the deep playa. You don't exactly see food everywhere, but there's food almost everywhere.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, probably.
Yeah. Just the little nuances. None of the big questions most of the big things I probably already explained to you. That there's like the showers, only what you bring in. If you bring a shower and you know how to, because no gray water, meaning water that's used for washing yourself, dishes, whatever, is allowed to hit the playa's dirt because that's leave no trace. So you have to have a shower plus a way to evaporate it or store the gray water. So showers are not really a thing that I do out there. we bathe with wet
Whore
wipes.
bath.
Yeah.
Whore bath.
Yep, wet wipes for the all the areas. Usually, once every couple days.
And as someone who really, really enjoys being pretty clean, it's so fucking dry and dusty. I never felt dirty until the mud.
Yeah,
And even
the
then, it
mud.
was
Yeah,
just mud.
yeah.
Like there was nothing in the mud. It was so fucking clean, pure clay mud.
Mhm.
I would have been down if someone said like, "Let's roll in it and make a penis." I've been like, okay.
But also, there are camps that are shower camps. If you care to find them, there are hair washing shower camps, meaning you go in there and they have a system to not have the water hit the playa, like it's all tarped or whatever, sealed, and they have an evaporator or they have a truck to carry out the gray water and shit like that. And you can go in there and you can wash your hair or wash your partner's hair or whatever like that. I know there was a camp out there one year where everybody just walked in naked and washed each other, and danced like they had a DJ going and shit like that. It was great.
It was.
Okay, let's move on to this picture. This picture is of one of the art installations called the Chapel of Babel. And it apparently was this artist's, and I can't remember the name, but it was this artist's final submission to Burning Man. They had put like different art installations throughout the years, and this was their goodbye piece, and it was pretty fucking amazing. This is all painted on wood. It's all just like different pictures and like, God, it was weird. Katie, you probably have a better time explaining it than I would.
Man, the way I described it is exactly what you said. I believe what we were told is this is the accumulation of all the art he has ever created. And obviously, he's very much like a surreal photographer. He takes a lot of like iconography pictures and stuff like that. Inside was a melting Mary, like Mother of Jesus, but it was made of a candle and she was melting in the heat that was just we were experiencing. There was like a Mona Lisa with two mannequin heads that at first glance to someone like me, I was like, they're identical. What the fuck? And Zach sits there and 15 seconds later goes, babe, look at them again. What's the difference? The difference was so sickeningly subtle, but y'all that know Zach will absolutely identify with this. He goes, one is fake smiling. It was mannequin heads, my dude. Mannequin fucking heads. They were identical. Like he must have literally used a blow dryer and like his fingers to very slightly like crinkle the eyes of one. So it looked like a genuine smile versus, the show your teeth smile for a school picture. So, and then it had a Mona Lisa with a bullet hole in her forehead below those things. But it was one of those things where you see this outside right here. The inside was 20 times more to try to take in and like get out of it. It was so intense. There was only one layer of this thing that you could actually walk into, but you could see up into the ceiling and into the rafters and shit that there was pictures and parts of the art that you'll never see the whole thing. You could move around and try to see every angle of it possible, but there was no way to get up there and it's about to burn in a day.
Yeah,
Like
the inside and the outside
in the wall,
just covered wallpaper with different like photo altered photos and all this kind of shit. It was like in the smallest crevices, the ceilings, like the top of the building, like crazy.
It was wood with like plastered on images. For those wondering, it was completely wood. You could walk in it. It was crazy sturdy.
Yeah.
But like if you didn't look close enough, you wouldn't notice that one of the eyes was actually a hole you could look into, and then there was an entire fucking scene in the wall.
Yeah.
Like of sheep
people
being electrocuted or something. Like it was wild.
Yeah.
There was so much. I don't think, and like you can see right next to Zeke's head, there's like a little archway. You could walk into secret tunnels from the outside and not use the main door and like pop up anywhere within this little chapel.
Right here.
It was just fucking an incredible piece of art.
This is the main archway, and there's a little like there's like 3 of these little like mouse hole entrances that you can actually get on your knees and crawl into the structure. You can get in and out in these little mouse holes. They're really cool.
It was like an adult's playground kind of. There were all sorts of secret tunnels and secret things, and we tried to go back the next day to get good daytime pictures, but they were actually starting to they don't disassemble it. I don't know how else to say it, but they start to compact it, i.e. take anything off the outside that's like a loose structure and put it inside to get it ready for the burn. And that was the night the rain hit.
They
so
burned it.
It took a while.
They burned it eventually.
It is gone. Yeah. They burned it while we were sitting for 5.5 hours. I thought about that.
So
yep.
I am 1 second here. I'm going to go full screen because I don't want to spoil anything because we're going to jump ahead and stuff. And I think I want to save your pictures for after because you took a lot of pictures later on. So
I took a lot of the mud pictures. Yeah.
I'm going to jump into the pictures from the photo album because those are in chronological order from me and everybody else. So we'll jump into those. There we go. Okay.
Yinia, some people build them on the Playa. Some people truck them in on massive fucking trucks in chunks that they've built. They built them at home. Like some of the structures are literal. Like, I think you have a video of it in there, but the Pegasus that was as big as a fucking house that actually was functional, flapped its wings and ran. That had to come in pieces.
If you walk down the right street and you go far enough, like away from the center of the like center of the Playa or whatever. You'll see like the parking lot for all the trucks, the cranes, the scissor lifts, like all of the shit that is required. Like they have a parking lot for those things to assemble and disassemble camps and art structures.
It was huge.
Okay,
dude,
this is our friend.
This isn't me.
This is our friend Emily. This is the Batcave Lemonade stand. This Emily was part of our camp. This was her first year as well. She was a first year burner.
But you would never be able to tell that she was a first
I forgot
year
I didn't edit I didn't edit all of the videos, just the ones that were obviously. So maybe some of the videos might start off like innocuous and might like flash a tit. I hope that's not the case.
Absolutely not. We don't know about any of that. There were no tits there.
There's some people from our camp. This is when the mud started hitting, everybody was just chilling in the Batcave. We'll see better pictures of that. This was a cool art structure. This was, God, how tall was this? Like 20 feet?
Oh, it was like a 2-story house. I always think of it as a house when I'm looking up to it. Yeah, it was like a 2-story house. And can you zoom in on its chest?
Yep.
If you look at him, it looks like he's like a farmer or something. You know, he's got the straw hat. It's like the Pueblo built. I think they're called like the Pueblo buildings, the ones that are like built into the cliff sides in his chest.
Yeah, it's
and
like
at nighttime, the whole inside was on fire.
Yeah, it was all lit up on the inside. It's like a Kowloon slum. Like they're just houses on top of houses on top of houses on top of houses. Like I think that was like the representation of that.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
And then the one solo nice house at the bottom, right next to the penis. I don't know if that means anything, but I'm going to say it does. But it was cute. There's a bike. There you go. There's a bike right next to it, so you can kind of get a scale. The bike is lined up, I think, with the back line of the platform. God, that's a good video. Fuck.
Sorry, I had to skip that one. That was one of the cats. I'm glad it was a back image of him. There's one of the cats who was like, "Nah, please don't put my shit on social." I'm like, "All right, no problem."
Totally respect that.
So
no, the Enviro protesters couldn't get in because no one could get in once it started raining. Anybody that claimed they did was lying.
And you can't get in without a ticket.
Yeah. There's gate people 24/7 all the time, unless the gates are literally locked shut. Like they kind of lock us in and lock us out. You know what I'm saying?
And this is one of those. This is an art installation. Art installations range from the extremely huge and complex to the fairly simple and neat ideas. This was one of those fairly simple but neat ideas where it was just like poles with like red sheer sheets on them, and you could ride your bike. It was like in a circle, and you could ride your bike around and through them. One of the things that is cool about art out on the Playa and Burning Man is that most of them, if you can climb on them, manipulate them, handle them somehow, that you're supposed to.
It's encouraged to like interact with the art.
If you are not, it will be clearly posted. Please do not climb on this. But I would say like the vast majority of them, you're allowed to play with, touch, climb on, do all that shit. Unless it's clearly posted. But that's one of the things I love about it. And like, honestly, like they'll leave stuff out there that you can break, but it's obvious you're not supposed to break shit. So, you know, most people don't. But like,
hey babe,
what
are the number 1 and 2 problems on the Playa?
The number 1 and 2 problems on the Playa? Well, I'll tell you. It's number 1 and number 2. People peeing, pooping because they can't find a porto.
And the art.
Yeah. Yeah, people will pee and poop out there on the playa. They're not supposed to. No one is supposed to do that. And if you do that, fuck you, shame on you, unless it's an emergency, in which case we shouldn't be able to find it. You should, at the very fucking least, bury it somehow. Like, get a fucking shovel, use your fucking fingers. I don't give a shit. Bury it, cover it up. Don't let us see it. Because emergencies do happen. I get that. But honestly, it's no excuse to just leave it out there on the playa. And it does happen. And it's sad.
You sacrifice a sock or a hat. We've all learned. Thank you, Scott.
I will tell you this. I have never seen a poo-poo. I've definitely seen pee puddles, but I've never seen a poo-poo out on the playa. But I know it happens.
You know, once the mud hit, I had a few moments where I was like, is it playa? Is it poop? I'm just not going to walk there.
This is the line. This is the entrance, and this is what you see when you enter Burning Man and when you exit Burning Man. This is called, when you leave, it's called Exodus, and when you enter it, I don't know what it's called. I don't know if it has a name. But it's just a line of like 7, 8 long, like 8 lines of cars, like pulsing into the thing as they check your tickets and check your cars and stuff like this.
The pulse.
It's rough sometimes, especially when everybody gets delayed and everybody tries to leave at the same time. Usually, if you plan it right, it shouldn't take more than 3 hours. When we did it, it took 5 because of the delays and, you know, everybody trying to leave and yada, yada, yada. It took a long time, way too long. But that's what happens when everybody, like, who was planning on leaving on Friday or Saturday or Sunday couldn't leave. That means everybody tried to leave on Monday. And it sucks. Yeah. But that's one of the things that one of the things I try to prepare her for, like the line to get in, the line to get out could take like a fucking long time. So just prepare mentally for it. The first time I went to Burning Man, it took me 7.5 hours to get out because you try and choose the least busy time. And I didn't know what that was when I first went. But
it honestly wasn't.
To get in, it only took us an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was quick. I mean, we didn't really stop moving getting in, did we? It was just kind of like a slow coast. Every once in a while, a little bit of a stop, but we just kind of like,
but
right
yeah,
the fuck in.
The best times to get in, if you want to get into Burning Man, the best times to get in are between the hours of, because they open the gates at midnight, at 12:01 Sunday, technically Sunday, so Saturday night, Sunday. So the best times to get in are like 1 to 3 a.m. if you are going non-early, if you don't have early passes. 1 to 3 a.m. on Sunday, if you can make that happen. We were there at 4, I think, and still it only took us like an hour and a half. But since there were delays and people weren't leaving, it took us 5 hours to get out onto the highway.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to it, like, I kind of insisted that I drove both on the intro and Exodus because it was my first burn, and, like, I feel like I wanted to get the full experience. By the way, thank you, Katie, so much for that raid. Welcome, raiders. And it honestly was not that bad. If you've ever been in a line to get out of an amphitheater concert or, like, a metal festival concert, it is very similar. You drive 20 feet, stop, turn off your engine, get out, smoke a cig, stand, stretch your legs, do some squats, chat with the person nearby, maybe get in their trailer and take a piss because they've got a trailer and you don't. Like,
no, the first year I went, I got there during the day,
very chill,
and it was opening day. I got there during the day, and the lines were fairly long, but everybody would just like park, get out, and like socialize, drink beers. Like people were tailgating, like, and then you like. But you make sure that the tailgating you're doing is mobile. So it doesn't have to be secure because you're going 5 miles per hour. Like the max speed you can go is 10 miles per hour. So you're going just like 10 miles per hour, like 5 or 6 car lengths, and then you stop again. So it was kind of a party to just getting in a couple years. It was not too bad, not too bad.
No, it really, I mean, the 5.5 hours was a little daunting simply because by the time we got the man burned to 10. I believe we were in line by 11. Like we were okay. Oh, the neighbor dogs are barking. It's bark o'clock. I apologize.
Oh, bark o'clock.
You guys don't experience this. Bark o'clock is
neighbor
real.
Dogs.
Yep. Neighbor dogs go off. Our dogs are like, really? Yeah. Bark, bark. Anyways, it was like I think like twice we saw a car that fell asleep or something, right? And
Yeah,
were
people in
honking
line will fall
horns
asleep,
and
and the people will cut in and shit.
yeah, people would cut it, and then our line would suddenly get shorter.
Yeah.
But everybody was so chill, and there was no one cutting. I don't think I saw anybody inappropriately weaving in and out. Like they would, if someone fell asleep in their car and wasn't going forward, everybody else would be like, "Fuck you, dude, I'll take that spot." But other than that, it was pretty fucking easy. I didn't see any protesters at all on the road. I did see a camera crew, but they were quite literally 30 miles from the exit, from the gates of Burning Man. So
Yeah.
if they claim to see any part of Burning Man, it's all fucking fat lies.
Yeah. This video is from the early video from the inside of Temple.
Before it's totally drawn on. Thank you, sales.
Yep. These are videos from our camp mates who had early passes. So this is from like Wednesday or Thursday of the week.
The temple is so fucking pretty.
Yeah.
Those
really, really
layers of the flowers are just I'm so happy they got this video. This is fuck me.
Yeah. This is fuck me.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, by the time we got in, there was so much written on everything, like I couldn't look up.
Let's we got to catch up on some questions here. So, Jaziam asks, was it just people from the US or was it just people from the US there, or was it from across the globe? Oh, all over the world.
International.
All over the world. Lion's share American, but I would say, what would you say the percentage was? Like, I would say like 60% American and then 40% from everywhere else.
Yes.
Yeah. And everywhere else. I mean, like, name a country. There's probably people from there at Burning Man.
Remember the morning we sat with those two flawlessly beautiful Slovakian women who had obviously been up all night long and yet looked like they didn't have a pore and smoked super thin, long cigarettes, and like, I want to touch their boobs?
No, I don't look at other women, honey.
Were you looking at Finn? You whore. Get out! No, they were.
Yes, of course I saw them. Of course I did.
Like, they were interested in our burn. Like, they wanted to know what we were doing and what our morning was like. And we all sat and had lattes, and it was just
no.
Like,
they look like they should have been on like the fucking Swedish Price is Right or something. Like, like showing off like prizes and shit from IKEA.
Yeah, but they were like kind of dirty. Like, they burned. Like, you could kind of tell, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
You run into people like that all the time, and they were from Slovakia.
Or Slovakia. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Slovakia. I was trying to think they'd come many, many years. I think the one woman we were talking to a lot had been like 15 years plus or something like that. Like, she was a hard burner.
Yeah.
But she looked like a model. Like,
next question. How do you handle food storage and what do you eat? Non-perishables. The key for yourself is non-perishables, meaning canned foods, camp foods. Like, I swear by the dehydrated, like, Mountain Man meals. Like, you can find them at any camp store. They're just dehydrated. You add boiling water to them. They are fucking awesome when you really need some calories. Like, you have spent all day out there pedaling in the hot sun. You come home and you like pour some water into that shit and you just eat it up. It's like, it's like, you know, they have like spaghetti and chicken with rice and like all kinds of different meals. But we also had like beefaroni, ravioli, like canned meals. Like, I bring a Coleman camp stove out there, which is like, you know, just a propane propane thing. Tank is about, you know, yay big. You screw it on there, you light it up, and then you just put a pot on there. And you can put like anything that you can put, like a soup or whatever. So you don't bring a lot of perishables, meaning like you don't bring, like, it's not a great idea to bring fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, shit, like anything that can rot. Unless you have a camp that has a refrigeration system, and a lot of camps do. So anytime you're out there and you get like meat, it is a treat when it's like you find someone who's serving hot dogs or hamburgers or anything like pulled pork or whatever the fuck. You're just like, oh my God, it's so delicious, because you don't get it a lot because meat obviously goes bad. So like, yeah, camp food.
Danger.
And how do you keep it safe? Like, you bring a cooler, or you bring just crates. Like, I have stackable crates that keep out the dust and water, and you put them in there. Oh fuck, did I go F again? Okay, no, I'm still broadcasting according to my OBS.
Yeah, I see you.
Okay. I don't know what
Still,
happened.
I'm still watching you.
Okay.
Is Twitch being weird? Maybe.
No, that first one was definitely my computer because you were still fine.
Okay.
But anyways, but yeah, just like picture camp food. That's what you bring. You bring stuff that you would bring camping. We had pancakes. Like pancakes are great because powder, water, heat, pancakes. It was great. How much or how little of the time spent at Burning Man did you guys sleep? Sleep is very important at Burning Man. It is.
We tried hard.
You pretty much. I mean, you pretty much go until you can't, and then sleep comes very easy. You're like, I'm partying, and then your body eventually tells you. It's like, we cannot party anymore. We are done partying. We are going to fall down right here unless you go to camp now. And you're like, okay, time to go. Is it hard to sleep with noises? You'd think, like, if you don't spend your day doing shit, then yes, the noises bother you. But if you'd spend your day like doing shit, riding your bike, going, dancing, partying, looking at art, blah, blah, blah. By the time you get tired, you are fucking tired and you just pass the fuck out no matter what is going on around you.
It's one of those exhaustions where you just done.
Good, deep body tired. And you're just like, there is nothing that is going to keep me from sleeping right now, save like a meteor or some shit.
Really? I mean, we had a camp. What were they called? Was it liquid fuck?
Fluid fuck.
Fluid fuck.
Yeah.
Camp fluid fuck.
I'm pretty sure I took a picture of them.
It's just a DJ playing to nobody the whole time. Like
He
never had an audience.
The fucking most like
ever.
Perseverant solo DJ with nobody dancing for him. I felt so bad for the guy, but he was there every night, just spinning as best he could. Yeah, and he was like just down the block from us, and we're like, God damn you, fluid fuck! I can't even be mad at you, dude. You're really trying out here.
Never stopped, even in the mud.
Yeah. Most people who don't have the means stay in tents. And people who there's a lot of people who do have the means to rent an RV. Lots of RVs out there. Ranging in size from like, you know, a little tiny pull behind trailer to huge ass fucking not Winnebagos. Just those huge ass like tour buses for like, you know, rock bands and shit like that. Like it ranges in size, but I would say the lion's share of people sleep in tents. Usually if they're in a camp under a shade structure. We'll show you ours in just a minute. We'll get to that.
Cave.
Yeah. Okay. So this is I think this is just a video of the Playa. Oh yeah, this is build week.
Pre-build, yeah.
Yeah, this is what it looks like before anybody is out there. This is like Wednesday when they first started letting people in this year. So that's what it looks like before it's built. I don't know what that is. I'm going through pictures and videos that are from our camp, but not from me and Katie. Oh, this is all of us sitting around. This is after.
Oh, that last picture. If you go back, I know what structure that was. It was Jen on. It was like the Aztec Tower. Remember the one that looked like you should absolutely be able to slide on it? But don't slide on it all over it, and had a tree.
Yep.
It was coming out the top. I mean, this one was literally built of slides, and all over were signs like "Don't slide." Like, what the fuck?
Are those kids? Yeah, there are kids out there.
Yeah, there was lots of kids.
I wouldn't say lots, but there were a fair amount of kids ranging in age from like, you know, 1 to, you know, whatever kid age you think, 17, 18. Like they're kids run the gamut. And
remember that pregnant lady?
Yep, there was a lady who was like 8 months if she was a day pregnant. Like she was super and she was a fucking ranger. So she was out there pregnant as fuck doing a ranger job. And rangers out there are all volunteers, they're all burners. And their job is just to like check in. They have radios, make sure everybody's safe, coordinate like help efforts if people need medical attention, yada yada yada, answer questions. Rangers are out there basically doing like the job of what you think they would do. They're just helpers.
Yep. They're not the cops. They're there to
No.
make sure we're okay.
No, they don't enforce anything, but they do suggest.
Yeah. Like, they're there to make sure people aren't dumping water on the playa when it's not an existential flood.
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
Exactly.
Dangerous things.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Delicia, like, literally belly button popped. Like, this bitch was, the baby was turning. Like, when it rained, Zach and I looked at each other at one point in the Jeep and we're like, what do you think happened to that pregnant lady? Think she's out here popping, man?
Yeah. That would have been dope, wicked. If she was like gave birth out on the playa, that'd be hilarious.
Into the mud.
So these are our two campmates. This is Jen and Emily. Jen's a long time burner. She's been out there. I don't know how many times. I want to say at least like 9 or 10. And this was Emily's first burn. So those two of our campmates. This is the butt activated jellyfish.
Oh, this was dope. We did this.
Yeah, we did.
We activated it. We turned it yellow though.
Yeah.
It sucked.
The butt activated jellyfish, you can see right here. There's a little yoga ball.
Yep.
And there was 4 of them. Let me see if can I zoom in? Oh, I don't think I can zoom in on a video. But there was 4 of them, north, south, east, west, and you had to sit on them all at once, 4 people, and then bounce on them like in rhythm, and then the jellyfish would change colors. That's one of those interactive art pieces that I was talking about. Like, a lot of them are built to be interacted with.
I talked about the Pegasus one, how you had to have 4 people hit the button at the same time to get it to.
We'll get that. That's in there.
Listen to this. I love this so much. Tomadale's comment on the Rangers. Rangers are the cops before the cops. Listen to the Rangers or you're listening to the cops. I love that.
Exactly.
That's so perfect.
Yep. This is later on. I think the videos are coordinated. So I don't want to show this yet. Wait. There we go. Okay. I'm just skipping past those for now because that's the end of the burn. I think the videos are in a weird order. They're in a different order than the pictures. This is Todd. Todd was a resident older guy burner who was with us. Todd's been to a few burns. He's one of those cats that his burn, the pleasure he takes in the burn is building. He loves building camps and he loves breaking them down. That's his like joy. So he goes there early and helps like volunteers at whatever camp he can find. Like, do you need an extra set of hands? I'll help you burn or I'll help you build this shit. So that's his pleasure there. The burn week.
And he'll drop anything to help you at any fucking time.
Yeah. The burn week, he does a little thing here and there, but he really thrives when it's building and breaking down. That's his shit.
Literally, he is the roadie lifestyle. Lives in his van, dude. Lives in the mountains of Colorado. Dope ass motherfucker.
Yep, he lives out here. This is our kitchen, the kitchen of the Bat Cave. You can see our little tub there. This is our gray water tubs. Like, you see how many buckets you bring for gray water. So you wash out dishes. There's a bucket below there. When it gets full, you put the lid on and you stack it and you take it out with you. That's how the leave no trace works with water.
So I just have to flex for our camp right now because I thought this was really impressive. How many people were in our camp?
Oh God, I want to say like 15.
Yeah, it was 14. It was 15 at the beginning of the week until what's his butt left, or he had to leave like the second day.
Oh, Jimmy.
Jimmy. So we started with 15 full-grown adults, and by the end of the week, I was so proud. My responsibility. So Zach talked earlier. His responsibility in camp was managing the generator, turning it on when people needed it, making sure it was off when no one was using it. My responsibility with another person in camp was the fucking kitchen. I.e., I made sure no one was like just leaving dirty, nasty dishes to accrue bugs or something. People were not like leaving the water. We had this big tank on the left. That's like above Zach's head right there. That is our fresh fucking drinking water for everyone in the camp for the entire week, which we actually didn't even drink half of. It was incredible.
Well, it's also for our lemonade.
Yep, for the lemonade as well. And obviously we'll give it to anybody who needs water. Like, nobody's going to say no to somebody who's fucking needing water. But the sink on the right is where we do our dishes, and then we put the buckets beneath that. That's where the gray water goes. Between 15 people, we only created 6 buckets of gray water that were about 3/4 of the way full.
Yep.
That was it.
Yeah.
Period.
And as far as watering, man, you said no evaporators. Evaporators are great, but they take up a lot of space because in order to evaporate like an inch of water, you have to have like a 6 foot by 6 foot like like pool enclosure, and it's unreliable. Evaporators are unreliable because if it's cloudy or doesn't get hot or whatever, then the evaporators don't evaporate. So the most reliable way to get water in and out, buckets, take them out, empty them when you get into civilization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excrement, there is porta potties
Mhm.
everywhere.
Yes. They have porta potties. And that was the biggest concern about like when people like
When we were stuck.
when we were when we were stuck in there and we couldn't move and shit like that, was the porta potties, because the porta potties are emptied regularly by a company that the Burning Man org hires. They come in, and that's why like you're only allowed or supposed to bring one ply toilet paper, because you use them in the porta johns, and the porta johns are sucked out by, you know, the big tanks, the honey dipper tanks. They like suck out the poop and pee pee, and you don't want it clogging that shit for them, so they have to like dig out a fucking clog of wet wipes, or you know, like 3-ply toilet paper and t-shirts, shit like that. So that's why they tell you, please only use 1-ply, and if you must, which I do, I wet wipe my bunghole, but I only wet wipe after I've wiped a few times. I wet wipe, have a little wet wipe baggie, put the dirty wet wipe in the baggie, close it up, throw it away.
Yep.
So I do wet wipe my beehole, because that 1-ply is rough. But
And you're not getting any showers,
Yep.
so keeping hygienic is important out there when you're sweaty and stuff.
Yeah. But that was the biggest concern, because the porta potties were getting full during the shut in, because they couldn't get the porta john suckers. They couldn't get the trucks in because no one was allowed to drive. So they were getting like fuller and fuller and fuller. And that was the biggest concern. We were like probably just like one day, maybe day and a half away from like biting the bullet and having a boys and girls bucket in camp. Take one of these buckets, put a couple of garbage bags inside it, put a lid on it, take the lid off, do your business, put the lid back on, so on and so forth. We're prepared. Easy peasy, could have done it, no problem. But thankfully, they it dried up enough. The guys came through, and everybody was cheering. It was great. Like you could hear like
it was
down the street when the porta john guys came. You could like we were just like sitting there and we hear this, yeah. We're like, what the fuck? And we look over. It's like, oh, the porta john guys finally were allowed in. Nice, cool.
Every camp would fucking cheer them and scream at them, and they'd honk for you sometimes as they went by, because they knew those porta johns were getting to the point where they were going to kiss your beehole if you had a long hemorrhoid, man. Like we were.
Well, they also got to the point where they were like, poop only, please.
Yeah, they had signs on them that said poop only, because literally the urinals overflowed like into the mud. So at one point when you were walking around the porta johns, like you could see that most of the puddles were like that weird milky white color, which is just the color of the playa. But there were a few puddles that were a little brownish yellow, and you were like, "Oh no!"
It got a little gross, but like,
no.
If you've ever been to a festival, you know how gross fucking porta potties can get. Like, no matter where you go, if it's a gathering of people with porta johns, like they get pretty gross.
To be fair, like I was gonna say, all they do is empty our porta johns. They don't fill them with anything. They don't give you toilet paper or anything like that.
They do give you toilet paper.
Do they fill them with toilet paper?
They put toilet paper in, and sometimes they even have hand sanitizer. They refilled them sometimes. Yes.
Oh my God, that's incredible. I never saw it. I don't poop that often. But anyways, like I've seen concert porta johns from like a 2-hour concert look 20 million times worse than these porta johns ever looked. People were relatively respectful. There are douchebags. Douchebags are everywhere, but
yeah, with 70,000 people, not like it would be tough to get 100 people to adhere to all the rules, let alone 70,000. But I will say, like, as far as this festival goes, better than all the rest. Not perfect by any means, but better because of the principles you kind of like walk in with. You're like, most people are aware of the principles before they go to Burning Man.
I was gonna say that earlier when I forgot to say it. Thank you for saying thank you for triggering that memory. When someone asked if you ever had like an "Oh, sweet honey baby Jesus, you sweet innocent thing" moment, I was gonna say like the reason we ended up bumping our nasties was because before we even knew each other, Zach was like, "I think she'd be fun to burn with," and he like sent me all the documentation of the principles and like quizzed me on them over Discord.
Well, it's when you've been out there a couple times, like I'm sure Katie can attest to this. When you've been out there and you come back, it's kind of in the back of your mind, like this person would make a great burner.
Yeah.
And that's like originally when Katie and I were doing Nocturne, before it was even an inkling of a relationship, I was like, this chick would fucking burn like a champ. And I want to go out there with her as friends. And that was how we started talking. That was the impetus for our relationship. So I owe Burning Man for me taking the leap with my current lady. My current and only and final lady, I mean.
And I have to say, I think we burned together quite well.
It tests relationships. I've seen
Dude.
relationships and friendships fucking crumble out there, dude.
The
Ooh.
first night you were hearing it across the neighborhoods, like, we got a really single motherfucker here. Like that was happening quite regularly out there. I was like, I think I actually asked Zach, I was like, do people break up here? Like, are they that fragile and delicate of the soul? What the fuck?
It's rough out there. I mean, you take it for granted because I mean, you're a tough person, and I like to think I'm pretty tough as far as like, you know, roughing it goes. Like I try not to let shit get to me or complain a bunch, but like normal people out there, like it's fucking tough, dude. It's hot. It's dirty. It's, you know, not like it's not not an environment that's conducive to people. There's no green life out there at all.
There ain't none. I was saying that earlier when we moved.
And no amenities at all, no showers, no like, you know, no baths, no fucking way to clean yourself regularly. It's rough. And people like it gets to people. Like I know we had our arguments. We had our little tiffs every once in a while.
They must have not been that great. I don't remember them.
Well, I mean,
one was just you wanted me to sit the fuck down because I was about to pass out from not drinking water or moving, not stopping moving.
Yeah,
don't you click at me, motherfucker?
I tried to let that go because Katie is one of those people that like once she gets started working, if she stops, she says if she stops, she'll never like get back to it, which she would. I doubt that very much. But she was working on we were breaking down stuff, right? And you were just going, and I'm like, sit down, have water. I can't. Yes, you can. No, if I stop, da 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 da. You know what? Fuck it, whatever. And I really was getting upset because not only would it be healthy for her to sit down in the shade and have some water, but she'd be doing the same fucking shit to me if she saw me working like nonstop without drinking or resting. And I'm like, bitch, you're being hypocritical right now. And that made me upset.
Hypocrisy. Yep.
But you are going to work until you pass out, and I don't want to see that.
I know. I don't know if it's a combination of hyperfocus or whatever, but I think you described it perfectly. By the way, thank you so much for subbing my channel. I'm on a golden kappa train, whatever the fuck. What is that?
Oh, someone has a golden kappa in your channel?
Oh, use your golden kappa, motherfuckers. Apparently one of you has that emote. So special. We're living for it. I don't remember what I was saying anymore. Go forth. Your dog is licking the fuck out of me. Yo.
You mean our dogs?
Our baby girl. She's your baby girl. I mean,
no golden kappa in my channel. So this is Batcave Lemonade. This was our gift to the Playa. We had a little lemonade stand, and you'd come by. One of the things in Burning Man, you bring your own cup, your own plate, your own utensils. If you care to drink, eat, or whatever, you bring them everywhere you go in your backpack. Your backpack is your best friend out there. You bring your cup, you bring your book, like your Burning Man book, usually your map, that kind of shit. You bring your ID, you bring a plate, you bring a fork, or a spork or whatever kitchen utensil or camping utensils, and you bring it everywhere because people are constantly giving you like, hey, we're making pancakes. Here we have some coffee. Here we have fucking margaritas. We got a mixologist here, and they're making like, lemon bangarang fuck your mom drinks. And you're like, oh, I would love a lemon bangarang fuck your mom. And you bring your cup up and they pour it in your cup and you drink it. So you bring all those like implements with you everywhere you go. Ours was lemonade, alcohol-free lemonade, which was a very good selling point, it turns out, because most people giving away drinks have liquor in them and ours did not. So you would come by from Monday through Friday from noon to 3, and we give you some ice cold liquor-free lemonade. And it was great. And the dice, we made it fun. You roll one of the dice, and in order to get your lemonade, not required, you could say no and get your lemonade anyways. But in order to get your lemonade, quote unquote, you would roll the dice, and whatever it would land on, like one was you had to take a shot of number 1, which is bat pee, which was just like a squirt bottle filled with straight lemon
concentrate,
straight lemon juice.
Yeah.
We would squirt it in your mouth, and you got that's tart, and then you get your lemonade.
We had guano too.
Yeah. It was just random dumb stuff like that. One of them was like bat guano. Like you had to eat a cup of bat guano, which turned out it was just cereal. It was just breakfast cereal. It was like Cocoa Puffs or some shit. So yeah, it was just random dumb stuff. If you want to participate, great.
I learned about the Golden Kappa thing, babe, by the way. It's now a scam train thing exclusively. If you participate in my scam train, you just get the Golden Kappa as a gift. So, like, if y'all want to come give me some fucking money, that'd be cool.
Do it, man.
Do you want a Golden Kappa? Fuck yeah. Your mom told me you did last night. Well, she was fucking suffocating me with her fucking thighs.
There you go. But you get it for 24 hours only, apparently. Okay.
That's not that cool. Keep your money.
Double team up for the only 2 channels.
Or just give it to me.
Great for the freaking 7 years.
I'm kidding. That's not that cool.
Cheers, Z.
Thank you, Poop Deck.
Thank you.
Here's to another 7 years.
Hell yeah.
Much love, Z Club, Class I Club.
Okay.
Poop Deck, you silly fuck. I appreciate you. Thank you.
So,
and thank you, C-Town.
Mark36 asks, what are examples of gifts for the playa that people bring when burning solo?
Tell them about yours when you were with the hug camp
family. Oh yes.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yep.
You were remembered for it too. This burn, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. Gifts range from like all kinds of stuff. It's just really anything you can give. It doesn't have to be expensive. It can be very simple, like a sticker, or a hug, or like some people have like a little like booth set up where it says like the psychiatrist is in, and you can just walk up to the booth and you'll have someone to listen to whatever fucking problem you have. Like those are all playa gifts. The gift that I did one year when I was camping with our camp was I brought out like 10 pounds of bacon and a full tux and tails, gloves, the whole shebang, butler outfit. And I cooked up 12 pounds of bacon, and I had a silver serving tray with a little dome on it. And I went out on the street, and I was the bacon butler, and I was giving people bacon, and I adopted a very like posh, please, would sirs care for some bacon? And I would just give people bacon. That was my gift, and it was a lot of fun.
And he was literally like the story. What Zach told me, I think it was towards the end of the week. He saw someone from that camp, which was what, like 8 years ago now?
2015 was the last time I camped with him.
Yeah, 8 years ago.
Yep. Joel.
I camped with you back with like Fuck Hug Camp or whatever. And the guy just like sits there and thinks for a minute and goes, "Bacon guy?" And I just think, did you just F again?
I dropped for like a hot second. I don't know what happened. No, I dropped to like 0 frames, and now I'm back up to regular again. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Thank you, Crizzle and Mismo, you generous fucks.
No idea. It just went bloop and then came back up. Anyways, yes, we were just talking about like
oh my god, Poop Deck.
My 2015 burn.
Frames.
I was with this camp, and then I saw them. I saw the head of the camp out there this year, and I was like, "Hey, you remember me?" And he's like, "I said I came with blah blah blah," and he's like, "Wait, bacon guy?" And I'm like, yeah, that's me, bacon guy. And he's like, oh man, he gave me a hug. And then he went on his way because he was actually driving an art car at the time. All right, so this is our Batcave lemonade stand. It said lemonade daily, 12 to 3, non-alcoholic artisanal lemonade. That was our gift to the Playa.
Really good.
Yeah. How does ice work there? Good question. Ice is now the only thing you can buy out there, because it's kind of a necessity for a lot of different, reasons. But you go to, they have 3 places. They have Center Camp and a place at 3:00 and 9:00 where they have ice trucks, truck in ice, and you buy it by the bag or by the block. But that's the only thing now. Used to be you could buy lattes. Like you go to Center Camp and buy a latte or a mocha. And I took Katie there one day and I was like, this is the only other thing you could buy. One luxury item. Went down there and like, they're not selling that anymore. And apparently the last year I went, 2019, was the last year they did that. They had a discussion within the Burning Man Oregon, said we should not sell anything that we don't have to. And lattes, they went out the door. So no more lattes in Center Camp. However, ice is kind of a necessity to keep, food from spoiling and, to keep people cool, blah, 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 blah. So they still sell ice, but that's the only thing they sell now. So you would make, when we sold lemonade, whose ever shift it was, the day before their shift, they got ice for that team. So my lemonade shift was on Thursday. So on Wednesday, I got ice for them, for the Wednesday crew, and then so on and so forth.
So it was very much, you were always responsible for someone else's day going as best as possible. It kind of helped that community.
We split up the ice runs for everybody.
Yeah. Can I just, I'm so sorry, but this Golden Kappa thing, I'm like in a level 5 hype train. It's fucking insanely generous. I just have to say out loud, like, thank you beyond reason. Holy fuck. All right. Y'all are way too kind.
Leiska asks, oh, thank you, Grafud. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Very, very kind of you. I appreciate you. I'm going to mute that just for a second here. How do they keep out ticketless people? Couldn't you just come in off road? The answer to that is if you're sneaky enough, you can, but you wouldn't it would be very difficult to sneak in all the things you need, like food, water, tent, sleeping bag, possibly a bicycle. It would be very difficult. But if you wanted to sneak in solo, you probably could. But they do have people patrolling. They have rangers out on the outer fence, looking for that specifically. You could also airdrop in, which people do. People actually parachute in, on the daily basis, every day. You could look up and see parachuters, dropping in. But
it's really fucking epic to see.
They're not. I would be surprised if those people that were parachuting in were not ticketed. They had tickets. I would be surprised if they did.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe the entire place is fenced in. There is a giant fence called the trash fence, but it's because the wind will pick up a lot of the moop or trash that you accidentally drop on the ground and blow it infinitely into this fucking state land of nothingness. So they have to put up a fence that helps kind of control the trash that is created and let loose.
And also, but it's not a fence designed to keep people out or in. It is a 4 foot high, 4.5 foot high, those construction orange, plastic orange, fences with oval holes in it. It's like that orange plastic fencing. That's what the trash fence is.
Yep. Help catch the shit that flies. Cause we try. I mean, I've seen at least every member of our camp fly off their bike and go running after some little piece of plastic that's going in the wind. Yeah. And hopefully someone ahead of them notices they're chasing something and grabs it. Because the wind can get fucking ferocious out there real quick. It's wild.
Yeah, we'll see some pictures of that.
Yep.
Okay, another picture of the Batcave lemonade. This was our area that the public, if you got lemonade, you could go into our little they called them we called them Batcave, but it's like a monkey hut is I think the technical name for them. And it keeps you really cool. and we had a mister in there, so you could grab your lemonade, park your bike, sit in our cool misted area, and enjoy your lemonade. That was the area that we built for the public to, sit down and take a break in. It was great.
And I just want to point out that in itself is a major fucking gift out there. The relief on
Shade?
people's faces, that they could get shade, a little bit of mist, and just sit in a chair with a cold glass of lemonade.
Yeah.
That's huge. And in the rain, when the rain hit, I was telling them, how many people did we have that ended up being strays that chilled out in our tent? Quite a few.
Yeah, at least half a dozen, if not more.
Yeah. And it was just that's a gift. It's like an unintentional gift, but it's a gift in itself because, man, when you are stuck out there in any weather that is that fucking severely uncomfortable, a seat, like us just finding a piece of art to plop our asses on and put our feet up for a few minutes when we were out on the Playa biking was everything.
Yep.
I love it. It's so cute.
It's great.
That's before the wind destroyed the ivy.
Thank you, Anubis. It's Andrew asked, did you get blocked by those idiot people that had blocked the road to Burning Man? No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about it until we got home. I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck they were protesting.
They're protesting our carbon output. Because it's different when we camp, I guess.
Okay.
I guess so. I actually read the Glut gave me an article to the story. This is the full thing, really. So there's some hippie. There was like literally a handful of hippies out there, like protesting hippies. Which come to our side. You're on the wrong side of this fence. But someone leaving the burn, someone presumptuously a burner, called the cops on them and told the cops that these people had a gun. They were just chained to a table, like in the middle of the road. That was it.
God.
So the cops showed up with guns, and it got weird. No one was shot or anything, I don't think. But people were slammed to the ground for no reason. People just being stupid. Don't call the cops. We know better, right? Stop it.
Yeah.
Fucking stop it.
70,000 people
Let the
descending on a
hippies be
state park.
hippies.
A state park isn't exactly environmentally friendly. Well, there's a reason why they chose, and I think that's another question that I can answer. There's a reason why they chose the Playa, because it is a minimal impact on the environment, because there is almost nothing living out there. There are playa shrimp that live deep, deep under the playa that actually came out during the rainstorm. But other than that, there is barely any fucking life out there to destroy. And that's probably, I would imagine, why they picked that place, because there's no trees, no bushes, no plants, fucking nada. Like, you'll see like a beetle or a dragonfly if you're lucky. It's a nice thing. Like, if you find a dragonfly, you're like, yay, dragonfly. But it's so rare that as to not be like even a thing that is common. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, that's why, like, I mean, there are tons of nicer places that this event could occur that are like way more conducive to like fucking not like like it's fucking hot and
Humans?
flat and it's terrible out there. It's really not like a great place. Like, if you ever been camping in the desert versus camping in the forest, I've been both places, and I'll pick the forest fucking anytime, every day of the week.
It's true. And like I was telling my chat this earlier. I don't know if did you explain like the mooping process?
I touched on it a little bit.
It's very briefly, basically what our camp does, and what most camps that want to return every year want to take care of the playa, don't want to leave anything behind, i.e. get all the matter out of place, the fuck out.
Yep.
Our entire camp of like 14 people lined up between the exact boundaries of our camp square. We got down on our hands and fucking knees and meticulously crawled across our campsite once we had broken down everything, searching for I'm not fucking with you when I say we spent multiple minutes picking strangers' hair strands out of the drying clay, because that is matter out of fucking place. There's nothing there besides humans that would have left that hair.
And
we picked up the tiniest fucking pink fuzzes, because if you get a green, it means you did not fuck up the playa and you can come back. We trust you not to destroy the environment.
the reason why we do that,
big.
yeah, the reason why we do that is because after the burn is over, the Burning Man org goes square inch by square inch through every single person's camp. And they have it marked off with flags, so they know the borders of your camp. And they will mark little red spots like, this is where we found moop. This is where we found, things that weren't supposed to be there. And if you get too many of them, you are either given like a warning reprimand or something, or you are disinvited. Your entire camp is disinvited to Burning Man. And I've seen that shit happen to huge camps that have been longtime burners that left too much moop. Huge sound camps, like 100, 200 people that put together these camps, disinvited because they left too much shit on the playa. And
this is what I heard about those exact camps, just to extend on it, because I love this part. These camps are so massive. They're coming in with semi trucks, and it's one road in, one road out. And when everybody's coming in, there ain't no way out. So they have a special parking lot. They just put you in until every single motherfucker has made their slow ass way, pulsed into their spot. And then they'll maybe remember that they just left 7 semi trucks of audio equipment in lot D. And no shit, they have left those people the entirety of the burn.
Well,
that's where they spent the burn.
I mean, that's the leave no trace. That's one of the principles. Leave no trace. And also, like, part of like your civic responsibility. Like, that's one of the other principles, civic responsibility. Like, I am responsible for cleaning up, and I hope everyone else is feeling the same way of their own area. Make sure your area is clean, because as a whole, if we keep Burning Man as the entire thing, if we keep it clean, like, we can keep coming back here,
And that 100%, and I saw a lot of people partaking in that. Like, we saw people that would stop their bike dead stop in the middle of the playa on their way to something to get a piece of
we did that.
A piece of glitter. I mean, of course, I don't think it surprises anyone that we give a fuck. But it's cool to see lots of people give a fuck. Like, everybody had like a Crown Royal bag, basically. Some sort of little drawstring bag that wasn't going to lose anything, that they would stop, grab a sequence, a feather, anything that did not belong on the playa, and just stick it in their little bag, because it takes 2 fucking seconds, and it means we get to come back.
No.
And I love that.
As far as leave immediately, no. That they check after everybody's gone, Rowini. So they don't make you leave immediately. They don't make you leave at all. They just don't let you come back. That's how it is.
Yep.
Leave no trace, but also burn massive structures. Haha. They clean up every single fucking piece of that goddamn burned out building. Every single piece. Like, so, sure, ashes are going to fly in the wind. That's, yes, of course. Okay, I'll grant you that. But they meticulously clean up anything in that area where the burns happen.
Literally, like, we watched that robot burn, and the next day there wasn't even a black spot.
Yep.
It was gone. It was one robot. Like, had you not been there the 2 days prior and even known there was a wooden robot at one point, you would not know. You would be like, oh, look at that cool. Like, there is a population of burners who are going to be like, did you see that one robot in this desert? That was pretty cool. Yeah, the one with the axe. There's nothing.
If you want to get technical, there's no way to leave no trace. If you want to get absolutely technical, meaning like anywhere you go, you are shedding skin cells. So your skin cells will be wherever you go. If you want to be a dick about it, sure. Yeah. There's no way to leave no trace. But we do our fucking goddamnedest, and the org does too. Okay. You win. I hope winning on a technicality makes you feel fucking better. Next thing, this is the Playa Nebula. Our camp lead Mark, this was his, like, it's a little cushiony spot where people can like bounce around on like yoga balls, and you just you secure them with a net and lag bolts, and then you can just jump on them, and like, it was a fun little adult playground thing. There's all over the place. There's adult like
everywhere
playground shit to play on. It's great.
Hammocks, those structures behind the balls, those are like igloos for the desert. They're all climate controlled inside. Sometimes it's like camps offer them as places just to go sit and cool off for a minute. Sometimes it's actually where they're living. I'm not sure which ones those were, to be honest. It's been too many days.
Okay.
But they're cool.
Let's see. Let's answer some questions while we're here. I read it got co-opted by rich assholes and trailer buses. Is that true? No, it is not true.
It didn't feel that way at all.
It doesn't feel that way unless you are privy to that stuff. And you have to, like, if you go looking for it, yes, you can find people who are glamping, or what they call out there, plug and play, meaning you hire people to go out, set up your camp. Then you go out there, you spend time in your camp, you leave, and then the people you paid break down the camp for you. Yes, that happens. It's against the kind of like, the whole heart and soul of the idea of Burning Man, but that does happen. They do try to clamp down on that. They try to they frown upon it and they discourage it, but it's kind of difficult to eliminate it completely, but it does not affect you. In the 5 years that I've been, it hasn't affected me one bit at all, because when they're away from the camp, they're just another fucking burner that probably looks a little bit cleaner than most. Sometimes you can point them out, but sometimes like you'll see someone like that person is really clean, but maybe they have a shower in their camp, because some of the bigger camps actually have showers that you can use. Like Costume Cult had a shower that you could bring your shower bag and, you could wash up. They had an evaporation pool that you could actually use. So if you look clean, maybe that's it. Or maybe you're rich. Who knows? But once you're out there, it's kind of hard to tell.
Everybody's covered in dust. I did not see a body that could prevent dust coverage. It's not real.
Yep.
Like at one point, you're just kind of this strange, like milky white cheese color. Everybody. I mean, oh my God, the way it clung to Zach's hair was insane. I mean, his hair would go white. It was like following an old man in the desert. Like I was on my way in a secret mission in a whiteout, like in Zelda or something, like in the Gerudo Desert. And I had to follow the fastly aging creature in front of me. Like I was afraid he was going to crumble into bones and I was left forever. Like is this an art exhibit? Where is Zeke? It was insane. It just clung to everything.
This is a good question from Meshar. How safe is it out there? People in general are shitheads, but this sounds like a community where the people there just usually aren't. Do you have to worry about theft, drug, drunk, violence, etc.? Yes, you do. However, I will say that I have never felt, that weird eerie feeling you get when you know there's a fight about to happen, like in a bar or a gathering or something like that. You get this like weird like sense that people are getting drunk and pissed off. Don't get that out there. I do not get that. I have never actually seen, and this is a hand to the Burning Man. I've never seen a fight. I've never seen a fist fight out there. Ever. Not one. In the 5 years that I've been there, I've never seen a fist fight, physical altercation, nothing like that. Raised voices, oh yes. Physical altercation, not once. You go, like more often than not, you go out there with a group of people. So if you go out at night, you are not usually going alone. You are going with 1 to 17 other people at any given time. So
I never felt a tense, angry moment. I was just humming that to myself. Like in any other circumstance in my life where there are copious amounts of alcohol and inebriation and no, safety third, usually you feel tense. You feel someone getting angry. You feel like there's going to nothing.
Yeah.
It was just like love, man. Just a whole lot of hugs and love and people like ringing their little bike bell at you like, I'm coming. Dingy, dingy, dingy.
Well, and the thing is, like, I think being out there, even if you are the type to get like drunk and belligerent, you find that like you find a part of yourself that understands being lovey-dovey and huggy is such a better feeling than being, pugnacious or violent or anything like that. Like, you get the idea, like, man, this feels a lot better to like be friendly than it does to be violent.
Yeah.
It's a very much like a lead by or it's led by examples of everyone else out there. Like you hug and have deep conversations with strangers all day, every day. It's and it feels so good to open yourself up and find people who are open to that. That I think violence it does happen, I'm sure, but it's not prevalent at all. Like I've been to like, concerts, metal fest, like, like Lollapalooza or what's Ozfest and shit like that. there is definitely that feeling like a fight could break out at any time. At the burn, never. I've never had that feeling.
Hey, you know what I think also is a part of it is all that open space. Like if you ever feel like that tension growing or that I don't know, I get it sometimes, like that anxiety, that like anger that you're gonna hit. There is so much fucking open space. You can go ride your bike into the middle of and scream at the heavens, and no one would say a fucking thing. I feel like there's a lot of ways to go about a situation that do not involve a fight. I really like someone in my chat said self-reliance takes the piss out of a lot of peeps, also gifting too, and I think that's true.
Dude, yeah, I would say a
And like,
lot of
what do
times
you have
you
about
are too exhausted to like even put up your dukes.
Yeah. And like, what do you have to be mad about?
Yeah.
Did you forget something? Mm.
Yeah. It's a very unique place in that regard. Like I have never felt unsafe out there. I've never felt
No.
like I was at risk of anything, of being punched, of getting like of getting robbed or anything like that, because no one has any money. That's another
No.
thing. No money. No money is exchanged
Yeah.
except for ice. The only time that you might get robbed is going to get ice. Or someone steals your fucking bike, which happens a lot. And a lot of times it's not on purpose, but people are just like out of their mind looking for a bike and they find one, they ride off with it. That's why you bring a bike lock. And the simplest bike lock works. You don't need like a super heavy duty one. You bring like just one of those little tiny wire cables. And if they can't ride off on it, they'll find one they can, you know?
Literally. Yeah. Most people have their password written on their bike lock.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so like it's like the aggression and shit is not prevalent there. And it's also there's a lot of drinking out there, don't get me wrong, but there's also just a lot of drugs as well. And most drugs are not, they have way less aptitude for violence than alcohol. So maybe it's because I didn't hang out a lot in the alcohol serving places. And also in order to get drunk, a lot of times you have to go to several different places because there's a line waiting to get the alcohol. And then if you want more of it, you have to stand in line again.
And I would
and
say
there's just so much more shit to do.
Yeah, and 99.9% of those drinks are like very little alcohol, so much citrus. Oh, the hot burps. Zach was the most miserable thing. Like, I think Zach would have rather rolled in the heat mud than the hot citrus alcohol burps.
Getting
One
older,
place
man.
gave me a good shot of whiskey and like a maple syrup lollipop. That was the most incredible thing. Like, it was some Canadian Fools. It was incredible.
Yep.
But other than that, it was a lot of mixed drinks. Like, oh, the sugar. Oh, holy Jesus, the sugar.
That's one of the things that age has caught up on me with is the like acid reflux, GERD, whatever. Like anytime I have pork sausage or too much citrus, I get those hot, like almost vomit burps. That's like the one big thing that getting older has done to me. Like, fuck, I'm gonna have pepperoni tonight. Better have a Zantac.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's better than having hot burps.
True. Very true.
Fuck that
So
shit.
Cicely asks, Scott showed the 2019 rerun. So 2 questions. Was the payphone back? And this is, I guess, just for me. Was the payphone back and did you see Lost and Found if they were there? No and no. I did not see the payphone if it was back. And the Lost and Found I did not see either. So sorry to disappoint. Stixus asks, is there anything organizational wise that you would want to see changed with Burning Man? I don't have any big ideas for sweeping like organizational change, except for I wish, but it's probably because I don't know why. But I just wish there was more like easier ways to get in and out that didn't take 5 to 7 hours sometimes to get in and out of Burning Man. That is something I wish that would be made easier, but I'm sure there's the reason why is because there's one fucking road that's anywhere close to where we burn. And the reason why they don't let everyone just go is because it would cause so much traffic jamming, and the towns and cities that kind of are around Burning Man would hate us even more than they already do.
Honestly, though, we had to stop for gas and like to pee and get snacks a few times. And everybody that guessed we were from the burn or anything was so nice. And like no shit, on our way home, we stopped. I think I told you guys this earlier. I don't know. I'm really God, days are fucked up for me. But we ended up stopping at a hotel for like a nap because we were dying. Like we had just got out of that 5.5 hour line and then drove an additional 3 hours, unloaded an entire I'm so sorry, a giant truck, like a semi truck, into a storage unit, cleaned it all. It was insane. It was a lot.
Mhm.
We were so tired, we knew it was unsafe. So we were like, let's just get a cheap fucking hotel that has a bed and a shower, sleep for 6 hours, and then get back on the road. And I shit you not, we're thinking to ourselves, like, everywhere's gonna be packed. Everywhere was stuck. Everyone was stuck at the burn. Everyone's exhausted. Everyone was in that 5.5 hour line. Like, we're not special. So I call, like, it was like a Holiday Inn or some
Comfort
local little
Inn.
hotel, Comfort Inn. And the lady that answers the desk, I'm like, hi, I was just wondering if you have any vacancies today. And this was at 7 o'clock in the morning, mind you. And check-in wasn't until 3 p.m. And I was like, and any vacancies that maybe we could check into now? Tee hee ha ha. I'm so cute and friendly.
Yep.
And she was like, "Oh, honey, did you guys just get out of the burn traffic? You head right here, and I've got a room with your name on it." And she was a
What?
burner,
Yeah.
right?
We get there and she's like, we have a two queens or a king. And I'm like, just single bed is fine. She's like, we have your room ready. How was the burn? I didn't get to go this year. And we had a nice conversation with like the fucking receptionist at the Fallon Comfort Inn was a burner, and it was awesome. Shit. Come on.
Don't worry. Does anyone know where he cut? Oh, he's back,
I'm not back yet.
but I can hear you.
Yep.
So that's a sign.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
What was the last thing y'all heard?
I do not know what happened to my streaming PC. My streaming PC has just been going and then coming back and then coming back again. I don't know what the hell. I'm going to have to fucking look into it or restart or whatever, something. Anyways, no, she was just a burner and a sweetheart. She just talked to us about it. It's like, how was it? I heard you guys were reined in. And that was about it. Yeah.
She was awesome. And then we just kind of like sat there and like, talked a little bit about other burns and stuff like that. And she was so fucking nice. But she gave us like a king bed for the lowest rate in the whole fucking hotel, spotless.
Yeah.
We went
It was
and
very nice.
showered thoroughly and slept for like 6 hours and then pieced the fuck out. She was so fucking nice.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was amazing because coming straight out of the burn into like what the burners called the default world or like the extended Playa or whatever, where you have to kind of decompress your body from that, camping world into like, oh, money matters again and I got to work and be a human. To just run into like the nicest person ever straight out of the burn was such a nice transition. She was just so sweet and kind. And she was like, oh, breakfast is out, by the way, and it's free. And we've got a pool if you want to use it. She was just so nice.
She was a sweetheart. Really cool.
Yeah. But they're everywhere.
This is a great question. Raw Dog asks, given all that you have seen and experienced at Burning Man, how is it that you're still a bitch? And I'll answer that in this way. After all the times that I have penetrated, like forcefully penetrated your mother, she still gives me attitude after every time. And I really pound her like she stole something from me. And she's like, some people are just persistent and stubborn. This guy, persistent, stubborn.
To be fair, when all the holes smell like shit, what else can you do but pound said shit?
Exactly.
Hygiene's important, kids. Wash your hands.
Oh, oh my God. So that last question and these upcoming questions are not from the audience. that last question, these two are from, I'm sure they're from Scott, who just made up screen names. From Barf Monkey. It was on my mom's bucket list to see Burning Man someday, and sadly she never made it there. My question is, how come you a bitch? And then the next question from Dark Turd is probably in the same vein. I'm so glad you're back and safe. I heard so many horror stories from this year, and I was wondering, why you a bitch?
Okay, so I was just showing my chat the
Okay.
lovely bracelet you gave me, which I think is really apt, considering all the bitching being thrown around.
I should have
Zach
known.
met a really cool lady. I think it was in the lemonade line.
Do you
the day
remember?
were
You
doing
remember her name?
lemonade. I want to say it was. Oh, I do not remember. God damn it.
It was like
was at the beginning of the week.
Lania or something like that.
Yeah, I want to say it was like Lania, something like that.
Yeah.
But she had a whole basket of like these beautifully handmade like leather bracelets. And she asked Zach if he would like to pick one out for his woman, and he picked this one for me.
It's bitch with a heart for a T.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to turn on autofocus because I realize it doesn't look that great right now. But yeah, it basically says bitch with a T.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Okay. I'll just real quick. This is our the shade structure. This is the kitchen, but this is our home, basically shade structure. So down through this tube, I think there's going to be more pictures of this, I believe.
Oh, many more. Yep, I've got pictures of it in
this
the
is
mud and not.
this is the kitchen, the lemonade, where we made the lemonade and stuff. Oh, this is okay. This is the inside. We'll explain this what's happening here in just a second. But this is the inside of the shade structure, and everybody sets up their tent underneath this big tube, half circle dome. And it's fucking great. It keeps out the wind, most of the dust, and it kept us dry when it was raining. These monkey huts are fucking phenomenal out there. If you can manage to build one or get a camp that has one. I
didn't even realize that was me.
Really, really good out there. But this is Katie preparing me for my shift at Lemonade. And there are three main jobs for our lemonade gift. One, obviously the person who serves the lemonade. Two, the person who does the dice rolling, like roll the dice. Okay, do this
for the mini games.
Weird thing. And then third is the barker. And of course, Katie and I, we're both the barkers for our three-man squad during lemonade. And when I was barking, I said, "Can you make me an old man? I have a velour tracksuit." And that's
play it again.
That's what she did. She gave me she drew in all the wrinkles and all that stuff, and made me an old man. So I was out there barking people in town to come in. Come on, get some lemonade. There's no liquor in it. Come on down. And I had this is it your grandpa's old hat?
Yeah, this is my grandfather's
third asshole sausage.
My mom's dad's golf hat. I don't know where the fuck this came from, but he had a good sense of humor.
Just phenomenal. It was so much fun doing this.
Really, really was. And people fucking loved it. So my favorite part of this day was that Zach actually had two outfits. I'm sure he's going to show you the pictures of the other ones.
Oh, yeah.
But, oh my God, it's so good. It's so good.
Yep.
My favorite part was the line of people waiting for lemonade was like backed up near our kind of like personal sleeping tent where I was sitting there. I think I was working on one of your costumes or like seat covers or something like that.
Yeah, you were.
So I got to hear the crowd talking about how much they fucking love this old creepy geezer that's like getting everyone to try their lemonade.
It's great.
It was fucking phenomenal.
I heard from the media that everything was a terrible disaster. Is it true that people had to switch to drinking piss for sustenance rather than just for pleasure as usual? No.
That was true, right, babe?
I mean, no one had to drink piss.
Why
it was just
it
was a nice treat because it got cold. And it was a nice treat to warm you up because the piss comes out, body temperature. And it got pretty cold out there. It got about like 60 60 degrees Fahrenheit out there. So yeah,
It
warm you
got
up.
real chilly. That night we got back, we were walking home from the temple. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't it snow a little?
It
There
was,
one night
I
where you and I
swear to
saw
God, I was
flurries.
walking. It never got white on the ground, but I saw like little like flakies like in the air. And I'm like, that's fucking sleet, snow, snain,
Yep.
whatever you call it. Definitely looked like that shit. Okay, let's see. More video of me, I guess. Oh, this is the iPhone thing where if you hold down the thing, it like
Live photos, yeah.
yeah. Okay.
They're nice though. I like those.
Yeah. So this was our lemonade stand. You come and get like we had blueberry and cucumber mint and just regular lemonade if you wanted some.
And they were all good. Every day we had different flavors. People really liked it.
Yep.
We had return people every day. They were like, and they would always stop and be like, "This lemonade's actually good." I'm like, "Thank you." I thought
Yeah.
so as myself. We milked the lemons by hand.
hand milked lemons. Oh, here's the rainbow video of the ginormous rainbow that was double rainbow
motherfuckers.
across the sky. Double rainbow. Do you barter? No bartering. It's gifting only, your average guy. So you give and that's it. No return on anything. And everybody, but the thing is, everybody's giving something. Usually. Like every camp you walk by is giving something. Sometimes you get there at the wrong time of day because we only serve lemonade from noon to 3. So if you came there any other time, we wouldn't have any lemonade for you because we weren't serving. But like most things are like in this book. See this book with all these pages? This is like a list of events and gifts that people are doing on the playa and days and times of day that they're doing it. So,
and it's a lot. It can be very daunting. You're never gonna see it all.
Yeah. How is stealing and such out there? It doesn't happen a lot. Like as far as like, it does happen. I'm sure you get that many people are going to steal shit, but usually you don't bring out any shit that like you don't bring out like valuables. And if you do, you lock them in a vehicle or something. But as far as stealing goes, bikes are the biggest thing that people take and steal and write off on. But if you're smart about it, you don't have to worry about that. If you lock up your bike like diligently, you don't have to fucking worry about your bike being stolen. However, I've had a bike stolen when I was out there, and it is a fucking bitch when that happens. Because you go out looking for your bike and it's gone, and there is no fucking way you're going to find it again. However, on the converse, on the flip side, there are camps that collect lost and found stuff of those things being bikes. So you can get a shitty lost and found bike if you're lucky, which I ended up being lucky one year and got one after mine was stolen. But make sure to bring a bike lock. Make sure to lock your fucking bike.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the wrong verbiage because it doesn't exist anymore, but I'd say you just use common sense.
Yeah.
Like,
but the thing
don't leave your cell phone sitting out where it's easy to swipe.
Yeah.
Human nature sucks, but if you don't give them the opportunity, we didn't lose anything.
No. Oh, and if we did lose something, it was our fault. Dropped it.
Yeah.
Put it in the wrong place. We couldn't remember where we put it. That kind of shit. But like the things that you can steal out there, like bikes being the most prevalent. But other than that, like I suppose you could steal phones, but like what really good does that do you to steal someone's phone? Especially if it's like, you know, you're locked out of it or whatever. I don't know what I would do with a phone that I had. I guess you could
and there's no reception out there either.
You'd have to go through some shit to like blanket and resell it, I suppose. But yeah.
Yeah. How did we keep our phones charged? We had generators. Also, like if we just needed a quick charge or something, especially when the rain hit, we just go turn the Jeep on, plug our phones in, listen to the radio, get a weather forecast. By the time we got a forecast, we'd get 30% on our phone. But we only used our phone for pictures because there was negative reception. Like unless you were someone who had internet built in, like Starlink, you didn't have internet.
Didn't
or
want
anything.
it. I remember I had I forgot to turn my phone on to airplane mode one time or one day out there. And I walked to somewhere that actually had like free Wi-Fi and my phone picked up on it and it went bling, bling, bling. I'm like, fuck you, no notifications. I am incommunicado off the grid right now. And I immediately put it in airplane mode and extra super battery saver mode because
He was mad.
I was mad. I'm like, no, I don't want to hear about the outside world right now. And because my phone is just a camera out there. That's all it is a camera. And sometimes if dire need, sometimes a notepad. Like if I need like, oh, what's happening at this address? Okay, beep boop beep boop boop. I'll put it in my phone on the notepad like function, whatever. Yeah. So, have you talked about who runs Burning Man? Where does the money go? I have not. I have not talked about it, and I don't really look. I haven't really looked into it. Honestly, it doesn't seem. It never struck me as that important to know where the money from Burning Man goes. Because when I pay my money, like pay the ticket price to go to Burning Man, it seems like it's very reasonable because you can stay out there for, let's see, Sunday to Tuesday. So 9 days. You can stay out there it's $450. So what is that? 450 divided by 9. $50 a day.
I would assume most of that goes towards the porta-potties.
Yeah. Porta-potties, ice.
That would be my assumption.
The building.
Everything else is volunteer.
Yeah. I don't know who gets the money or whatever, but like, it doesn't seem like it goes any place that's bad. But I don't know. I actually have not looked into it. But it strikes me as like, when you pay money to go to a festival, like if you pay a ticket to get into the Ren Fest, or you pay a ticket to get into Ozfest or whatever, like, does that money, like who that money is going to, does that like matter a lot to you? Because it doesn't matter a lot to me. I guess and maybe I'm wrong for having that attitude. Like, I'd imagine it pays the people who get paid to like regulate, build, bring, ice and empty out our porta potties and shit like that. That's what I imagine. But if it goes to somebody else, like, I don't know. I guess I haven't looked into it.
Probably maintaining power at the medical tents, because the medical people there, all the nurses and doctors and anyone that's at the medical tents, they're all volunteers. But like maintaining all of that, having equipment, being able to maintain a sterile environment, like that's going to cost money, and I'm all here to pay for that. Like that should be a service that's accessible to anyone in the real world as well, in my opinion. Allegedly.
This is Mark, our camp lead.
Mark's the toots. Oh my God, it's double rainbow.
Mark and Amanda were our two camp leads. They're the ones who they used to camp with Costume Cult, a big New York camp, and they split off from them and made the Batcave. And we went with them, and now they have their own smaller camp of like 15 people. Security, cleaning, building, medics. And that's the thing. Maybe the security, cleaning, building, maybe, but medics, no. All the medical tents and all that shit, volunteer. That's all burners who volunteer a portion of their burn to go to the medical tent and be there to help people. And rangers, same thing. People volunteer their time to be rangers there. They say, I'm going to burn 4 days, and for 2 of the days, I'm going to be a ranger.
Which is the cops before the cops.
And if you volunteer enough, the lady at the hotel, remember the lady at the hotel said, I volunteered enough doing entrance or exodus or rangering or whatever that I got a free ticket.
Yep.
So that's a lot of reason why a lot of people volunteer, so they can get a free ticket to Burning Man.
Yeah. And to be honest, everywhere I saw volunteer work happening, they seem to be having a great time. Like they make work still functional, still responsible, still adult, but like they're not sitting around begrudging the hours they have.
Yeah,
volunteer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is Amanda, our other camp lead, but this is the mud. This is what we had to deal with. Now we'll see lots more pictures of the mud, I'm sure. But the thing that I want to impress upon you about the Playa is the dust. The dust is thin, filled with alkali, and it is chalk. Pick up get some chalk, feel it in your fingers. That's what the Playa dust is. Now, when it gets wet, the Playa dust, it becomes potter's clay, meaning, ghost on a pottery wheel. That's what it
Literally.
becomes when it gets wet. And it is fucking sticky as fuck. You take
And
3
slick.
steps, you have 2 inches of Playa clay on your shoe. That is why people were not allowed to bike, drive, and advised against going anywhere but the porta potty, because it is fucking horrible how thick and sticky you get with this mud. And heavy as fuck.
Oh, so heavy.
Oh, God.
My God.
Yeah.
Zach, you don't really realize it because it builds up a little bit slow at first onto your feet. And I was walking around basically just helping people move stuff. Because believe it or not, where these tents are, completely dry underneath. Bone fucking dry.
Yeah.
Which is wild. The water doesn't spread beyond where people are traipsing it in or beyond where it's being exposed. Under these tents was totally fine. So we were just moving chairs, moving heavy stuff, getting it out of the mud so it didn't like solidify and get stuck. And I think I went to take a nap. Honestly, I was so fucking tired. The day was just exhausting. And Zach sat with like a stick or something and picked, probably the equivalent of 5 pounds of mud off each one of my shoes.
Oh, yeah.
And when I got up, I had to pee real bad, grab my shoes, put them on. I was like, oh my God, I feel like I could like skip and jump and shit right now. It felt so freeing not to have like it felt like 40 pounds per foot. Like putting ankle weights or some bullshit on your feet and then trudging through more and just building the ankle weights as you go. So by the time you're at the bathroom, you're 3 inches taller and sweaty, but it's cold. It's very confusing.
We'll have a picture
fucking
later
heavy.
about there was a camp on the corner who was preaching a gospel during this whole thing, and we'll get to that, about how best to traverse the mud, and they were absolutely correct. Hopefully we'll get to that. Yeah, this is the middle of our camp. This is underneath the dome. This gives you a better idea of what this was like. Everybody got like a 10-foot by 10-foot section for their tent within the bat cave, and everybody was assigned their little area. You can sort of see our area. It's got this pink rug with our tubs and stuff. We didn't use it as for our tents. We used it as our arts and crafts and cooking area. That's where we stored all of our crates and our stove and food and all that kind of shit. Because we cleaned out the Jeep, and that's where we slept, was in the Jeep.
I really liked it though, because I feel like our little square of carpet kind of became a cool, fun, common area for the whole group.
Yeah.
Like everybody would gather around. I always made everyone coffee in the morning if they wanted it. One morning I made those little hoe cakes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that mud.
Is the Playa dry at lake bed? Yes, it is. Good call.
Mm-hmm.
It most certainly is.
The widow shrimp.
And when it got wet, you can see stories about the Playa shrimp coming out. There are organisms that live deep in the Playa, and they come out when it gets rained on. And we had a year's worth of rain in 2 days out on the Playa while we were there.
It was intense.
Yeah.
You went to sleep and you heard it on top of the Jeep, woke up to it. At a certain point, we just kind of looked at each other like, we got to pee in bags now.
Yeah, look at that shit.
That's the mud.
Now, this is what I'm saying. You step in it, you leave divots, and it's chunky, and it gets on everything you own. Everything you own.
Was the worst spot. Right in front of the kitchen, I got stuck so many fucking times, like almost lost a shoe.
Yep. And this happened on Friday, because it was right towards the end of your last shift.
Yeah.
The last shift of the lemonade stand.
We sold out. We gave away all of our lemonade every single day except my day, because by halfway through my shift is when the rain and the mud hit.
And she was still out there barking people, and it's like, even though it's raining, you need to hydrate. She was screaming at people because she would be damned. She would be damned if she didn't do her fucking job her entire shift. And she gave it her best shot. But eventually it was just like everybody was told to stay put. So she's like half an hour left of her shift. She was like, well, I guess we're done.
Yeah, the radio was literally like telling me to stop shouting people in. So I was like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Zeke, I am a lifelong winter of visiting the Thunderdome. Oh, maybe wanter of visiting the Thunderdome. How was it? And were burners allowed to enter, or was it more a pre-planned event? The Thunderdome is there every year. It's Camp Death Guild is the name of their camp. And they build the Thunderdome every year. I don't know if it's to scale, but it's pretty damn close. And you can climb on it. And we didn't take pictures of it for couple of very specific reasons. One, you climb on the Thunderdome, and I didn't want to whip out my phone and like be taking pictures and then drop it in the middle of the fucking Thunderdome because I don't know if I'm getting that shit back.
I doubt it.
And two, it was so fun, I kind of forgot. Like I was there fucking rooting and hooting and hollering. And if you hear my voice being hoarse right now, part of that is because Katie and I were yelling our fucking tits off at the Thunderdome participants.
It was cathartic.
Now, to answer your question, is it pre-planned? No, it is not. They are burners. They are just volunteer. They are just people who go to Thunderdome and say, I want to be in Thunderdome with this person. You go with a partner. You don't just get, pitted against whoever. You go with someone you are against, I guess.
Cool.
And you go there, and I've heard, I haven't done this yet, but I've heard you can bribe your way to the front of the line with a fresh bottle of whiskey. An unopened bottle of whiskey will get you a little bit of preferential treatment in the Death Guild, and it gets you ahead in the line. But one of the coolest fucking things we saw, and Katie will attest to this, because we stood there, we like were on the cage, like on the cage, like on the dome, like halfway up the dome, screaming and yelling.
Say,
How many?
It ain't easy to climb that dome.
It is not. The rungs are pretty goddamn far apart, so she had to have help. And thankfully, burners are just helpful people. And I was like, get up here. And someone at the bottom was like, held out their hands, for a foot. Like, here you go.
A strange dude.
Just a stranger.
Yeah.
Just gave her a foot up. So she comes up and we watched, I don't know, like 7 fights, something like that.
Dude, a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
at a certain point, it was like, should we get down? Because we were like way up, and as people start crawling up under you, and it starts getting real congested. Like Zach had to like tap people with his feet, be like, "Can we come down?" Because it's not people friendly. Like it's not built for people to climb. Like the real one, it's just people climbing because you can. It's fucking. I mean, you.
No,
it's
it's
the Thunderdome. You climb it and you can scream, "Fucking kill that bitch." Bite her face off, kick the cunt, grab her feet, rip anything. Like you can just, it's incredible.
And the really cool part about it is like one of the MCs, she was pointing out people who were not cheering, who were on the dome. She was like, Blue Hoodie, you haven't cheered a single time since you've been up here. Get the fuck off the dome. Yes, I'm looking and fucking talking right to you. Get the fuck off the dome. You are not cheering. And the dude was like, me, and everyone's like, yes, you, I'm talking to you. And fucking got him, like, didn't like forcibly rip him off, but shamed him enough that he fucking got off the dome. It was great.
Amazing.
But someone asked, illusionist Trixie said, is it like actual wrestling or some kind of face fuck orgy? Have you ever watched Thunderdome, the movie? Like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome? It is, they have those rubber straps that hook to a belt, like a harness. It's exactly that. They take you back, they hold you against the wall, and then the rubber, like they let you go, and the rubber harnesses like propel you towards each other, just like fucking Thunderdome. You don't have like sharp weapons, you have foam bats, but you beat the fucking shit out of each other. And one of the dudes we saw kept holding up his knee, and he kneed his opponent in the face like 4 fucking times hard.
It's got to be a move. It's like, I think it's, I don't know, Muay Thai or whatever, where you use your elbows and knees.
Yeah.
But he would come in swinging like this, kneecap just to jaw. And they were the most beautiful gay daddies.
Okay,
I've
that's
ever
what I
seen
want to
in my
talk
life.
about. We watched a few fights, but the best fight by far, picture me shirtless, ripped as fuck, like muscly, add 10 years to me, 2 dudes, just like that, with tight ass, like what like leggings, what would you call them?
Yeah, they were like running leggings.
They were like
here's my
Lululemon,
religion.
like running yoga pants, leggings or whatever. Top, like shirtless. 2 of these guys, bald beards, the whole thing. One of them reminded me, because I kept yelling American Chopper at the guy, because he reminded me of the dad from American Chopper a little bit. And I was just yelling, I'm like, get him, fuck him up, American Chopper, go get him. And it was so fucking awesome. Just these two 60-year-old, like big muscly gay daddies just beating the shit out of each other. And after the fight, they declared a winner. Whoever it was, don't care. They went off and after they got unstrapped, they just hugged, and it was just a fucking awesome thing to see.
They hugged and kissed each other on the cheek and left as friends.
Brutal to each other, though. Seriously. They were just beating the shit out of each other as best they could with foam bats. It was awesome.
No one didn't commit. I mean, there were people who were obviously less strong. Some of us are birds. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But like at one point we saw someone who, one of the people, the person on our side appeared to be a human person. And then the other person was a furry who was one of the most spectacular possum furry costumes I've ever seen in my life. Like a full helmet mask with a functioning, like, cracking teeth jaw.
Yeah.
It was...
When she wanted to, she could open the mouth and make it look like she was talking, like through this possum mask. It was possum. It wasn't even a mask. It was a whole head. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Mask is like insulting, dude. It was art. It was fucking phenomenal. She had a tail and everything, but she had like those big old raver boots on that gave her feet some nice weight. So when they would get flung at each other, this person that was on our side was a little bigger, looked a little meatier, like they had more strength. But this possum could spider leg her legs around that person and just fucking wail on their face. And oh my God.
She was brutal, dude. That possum was fucking brutal.
It was amazing.
We didn't get pictures of it because of things I mentioned earlier. We were on the cage. I didn't want to drop my phone. Yada yada yada.
We were doing like this on the bars, you know.
Yeah. And we were there. We were present in the moment, so I kind of forgot that I should have taken pictures.
And we walked away just glowing. Like,
as far
pictures
as
were the last thing on our mind.
As far as furries go, yes, there are furries out on the playa, and their camps, more often than not, air conditioned for obvious reasons. So there was a camp that was close to ours that we walked by a lot. After we got off the playa, we'd walk by it to get back to our camp.
Night.
That looked exactly like the storefront or whatever of their camp, of their gathering place, looked exactly like Dante's Inferno from Beetlejuice. You know that thing that he's like, oh, gotta get my I'm feeling a little frisky or whatever, and he turns and he sees that like red light off to the side, and he looks, and all those ladies are like, oh, come on in. It was exactly that. They built that fucking thing
exact,
and it said Dante's Inferno, like Furr, and that's where the furries would there was many of those camps, but that was the one that was closest to us. All air conditioned because furry.
And you could go in and get decked out like a furry and find out more about the furry culture and the furry community. And like,
I went there in their off time one year, and I was like, I like dressing up in big, mascot costumes and doing that kind of shit. Am I a furry? And they're like, do you feel like one? I was like, no. They're like, then you're not. I was like, oh, good. It's that easy. They're like, yeah. In order to be a furry, all you have to do is really like consider yourself one. I'm like, oh, good. Then I'm not. Excellent. I just like getting dressed up in big costumes like Chuck E. Cheese. Like when I was that I love the looks and smiles it gets. Like some people who like dressing up like a clown. People like back in the day before clowns were scary, people would laugh at clowns, and clowns had a great time, juggling, falling on their ass, shit like that. It's similar to that. I like getting high fives. I like getting hugs. I love that shit, but I am not a furry.
They had a vending machine directly outside of Dante's Inferno that it dispensed what are they called? Bad dragon dildos.
Yes.
One as big as my leg, one as tiny as my rib.
They didn't dispense those though.
But it would mock you if you got too close. I don't know if you ever noticed this. At one night I swerved a little close to it, and please excuse my language, it would shout in a very adorable voice, "Hey there, British cigarette." Real loud if you got too close to that vending machine. It gave me much pleasure.
But this is it. This is what they build every year.
Oh, I'm so glad there's a picture.
Yeah.
Fuck yes. Oh, let me move myself because I'm right on top of it. Hold on. Oh, look. And we literally almost walk past it every night. It was it was an honor because it's so well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is not this isn't rare. There are so many camps where you can tell these people put their fucking lives into what they look like, and it's worth it.
Yeah. It's so one of the comments I made, I think Katie mentioned this earlier on her stream, but I'll say it here. One of the comments I made, like walking past this place, is Katie was walking with me. I was like, you know what I love about Burning Man, or one of the things I love about Burning Man is there are no freaks here. No one is a freak. And then I said, but they do run a super marathon. Those people, those ones are the only freaks at Burning Man. Those are the ones you want to be careful of. Fucking super marathon in the fucking desert? Like, God, you are a freak, sir. I'm sorry. That's the only ones I would label as such. And we did have one in our camp that ran it. I think I might have even told him, like, you know what? There's a lot of weird people at Burning Man, but you are by far the weirdest, my friend. Like, you want to run 30 miles in this? What's wrong with you, bro? Who hurt you? Who hurt you?
With a lot of other people. Like, it was an impressive amount of people volunteered to go do this.
There was a ton of people that go there and run the super marathon every year. It's 30 miles. Like, I think it's between 30 and 31 miles.
So if I remember correctly, what Jen told me, and this is really only helps if you have any scope of Burning Man. Actually, I have the map. I'm going to pull it up. I'll show you just in case. So basically what Jen told me is it's 3 times around the entire circle. So 1, 2, 3, and then it's a back and forth across the 12 o'clock. 2 back and forths, excuse me. It's 2 back and forths. And they start at some ungodly hour, like 4 o'clock in the morning or something like that. So all day we were seeing the same people start lapping and going past us. It was fucking insane.
Oh,
but why the fuck?
No, Scott, it's a 50K. That's what the super marathon is. A 50K.
I thought it was like 31 miles.
They call
30
it
miles, I think.
Burning Man Ultra Marathon 50K, which means 31 miles.
Oh, there we go. 31. Cool. Who cares? It's over 10. I mean, what are you proving to anybody?
Yeah, it's just insane.
I'll let you call me mom and give you a hug if that's what it takes, but this is just asinine.
Yeah, it's just insane. No, and I know, listen, we're not comparing marathons here. I'm saying a marathon there at that place is fucking insane to me. Like, are you kidding me? In the fucking dry ass desert when there's so many other fun things and drugs to do. You're going to run? What's wrong with you?
True.
Oh, what is it? Hold on. I think we need sound for this. What is this? Hopefully it's not.
Oh.
Hopefully it's not DMCA.
It's Disney. I think this is us Disneying. I don't think you can play the audio. This is when we were losing our minds in the mud.
Yeah, you were. We were in the mud. You guys were singing "Kiss the Girl."
It was "Kiss the Girl." Was it "Kiss the Girl"?
Yes.
La, la, la. I'm not gonna do it. DMCA is a bitch. But yeah, we had been listening to Led Zeppelin for hours because every song is 15 minutes. And Zach was like, "Babe, can you put on just anything else but Zeppelin? It's been a while." And I was like, "No problem, Beeb." And I put on my Disney princess list. So it was like
we sufficiently got the lead out. And I was like, okay, we've listened to the Led Zeppelin's greatest hits for about, 45 minutes. Now, can we change it up? And she's like, you bet. La, 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 don't be shy. You better that. I'm like, oh, okay. I asked for this.
And I'm not shitting you, but when I did it, no one was out. And all of a sudden, every camper comes out of their tents like, sha la 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 ba. It was incredible.
Passers-by coming, but like, you would be, oh my God. You may or may not be shocked at how grateful people are that you're not playing music. No matter what it is, whether it's Tool or Disney or fucking rap or whatever, country music. Yep. You would be maybe not surprised at how many people are like, oh, thank God, no more house. And they come and sing it with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was incredible. It was dope. And you would like, if the music changed, to a different genre, you'd hear a cheer from a camp nearby. Like if it went to Tool or something, a bunch of people would be like, yeah. Oh my God, look how muddy. Oh, this was the mud.
Yep. So this was our little spot here. The pink carpet. Oh, I can't zoom in because it's a video. But the little pink carpet, this was our like costume bag. We had our kitchen bag, more clothes. All of our crates I had labeled as rooms of our house, so we know what was inside of it. So I have a crate labeled garage and office, bathroom, kitchen, linen closet. Like
And it worked really well.
that's how I organized my shit. So like if I want a pan, I go to the kitchen crate. So on and so forth. But yeah, so everybody was singing because it was just muddy as shit, and we had to stay put. And it was getting dry. You can see it's starting to pack down a little bit and become like pathways. So this was towards the tail end of the muddening or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, this was the point where I couldn't get my fingers more than a centimeter through my hair, and that on top of my head, I could not tell you what that was.
Yeah.
It was survival at that point. Get braids. My biggest piece of advice: get braids.
Yeah. Hey, someone had some Jameson. This was a frequent thing. You just sit around like in the mud, pass around the liquor bottle.
Our company meetings.
No, that's Pillow. He was from another camp, but he came to sleep at ours for some reason.
Yeah, I don't think he meshed with his own camp too well, but he was pretty dope. He was fun.
That was his Playa name, Pillow. Didn't ask him why, but I think I can figure it out. I have no idea who these cats are. This is not from me or Katie's camera roll, so we're looking at pictures from other people's cameras. Here it is.
My money's on Roy.
Here it is. Oh, by the way, someone asked if I saw Cowboy Roy. He was in our camp again.
Not a cult.
Cowboy Roy is awesome.
I have to pee so bad. I'll be right back.
Okay. Did you see what's on the camera right now on the screen?
Yeah, it's sock bag sock.
That is
not a cult.
We're gonna take a break here, but I'll just tell you about this. The gospel of sock bag sock during the muddening is exactly correct. A lot of people, myself included, were unaware of how best to get around during this fucking rain, mud, clay shit. Because you wear shoes, it just collects on your fucking shoes. You wear a bag, it's still really hard to get around. What you want to do is put a sock on, bag over the sock, and then a sock again over the bag, and then duct tape it up. Because your foot is different than the soles of your shoes in as far as it's malleable. Your foot muscles move and then shed the clay a lot easier. So barefoot also works, but if you didn't want to go barefoot, this was the best other option because it kept your feet dry, but it also allowed you to move around. Now, most people on Playa know if it rains, this is how you get around. Sock, bag, sock. No shit. It's awesome. And the outer sock, it helps you from ripping a hole in the bag, which is a problem as well.
It just worked. I mean, we tried multiple ways before that. Like my shoes, it didn't matter what you did. Your shoes built clay. Like you would just start building inches on it. But there was something about like you would put a good sock on, put the bag on, shitty sock that you didn't care about cutting off.
Yep.
You'd go all day.
Yep.
It was flawless.
I did.
Like, you had to do some real fucking weird shit to rip that.
Yep. For the entire day, that's what I did. I had sock, bag, sock, and it didn't rip or tear or anything. I had to like adjust it. Like the outer sock would like start coming out of the foot. But if you just like kick your foot a little bit and pull it back, it was fine.
Yeah, and the reason this was happening, this camp was not a cult camp. They were right on the corner by the porta-potties. And when
Dust
all
and
this was going
Stars.
down, Dust and Stars, thank you. When all this was going down, they of course saw the highest traffic because the only place people were even kind of discouraging you to go, but like if you had to go to the porta-potties,
they were kitty corner to the porta-potties.
So they were watching people just fucking bust their ass everywhere in abandoned shoes. So they started chanting it on a loudspeaker that sock, bag, sock, bag, sock. And if people were like, what's that? They'd share the gospel of sock, bag, sock. But it was real. I mean, it was legit. It did work.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to take a break now. Before I go to break, I'm going to thank some people real quick.
Thank y'all.
Yep. I will mute myself.
Oh.
Okay. There we go. Thank you to, let's see, where did I leave off? Technically Cake was 61. Ryu, thank you for the raid. JT Yankees with 112. Ryu with 91 months. CJ with 97. Adilag with 25. Yesland with 18. Khan with 4 fucking years. Mr. Bladder with 89. JCL Unico with 39. Hot Spicy Poutine with 33. Ambulancer with 83. And Eric the Viking with 18 months. Thank you very much. And Saku, you have asked that question 4 times and I have fucking ignored you every time. And now I'm going to ignore you again. So you can keep asking that question as many times as you want and I will never ever answer it. Thumbs up to you. Let's see. By the way, mods, if Saku asked that question after this last one, go ahead and time him out. Be my guest. Obi-Wan with 37. It Me Flock Q, thank you for 25. Siege Damage with 13. Viking Coder with 35. Pillbo Baggins with 117. Tema with 9 months. Assistali, thank you for 300 bits. Anubis with 51 months. Griff Fudd gifting out 10 subs to Mellow, Mild Enthusiasm, The Cynical Shuffler, Britta Neko, Ray the 1CB, 42 Kupo Nuts, Brogetta 92, J-Man Wins, My Friend Adam, and Scooter Beads. Those are gifted from Griff Fudd.
Hail Berserker!
Disruptive Goblin, thank you for 37 months. Poop Deck Jeff with 84, 7 motherfucking years. Yellow with 6 months. The Kremlin with 34. Royce with 42. Shield 88 with 90. Christopher 50 with 27. Goddess of War with 7 months. Middle Age Jade with 78. Purple Trader with 13. Savage Sig with 73. Jack Schreiker with 101. Penguin in Space 27 months. Kyle Fails Kyles with 33. Ice Kaiser with 7. OBS Vinny K with 37. Freeze Trap. I think I'm caught up now. I'm pretty sure I'm caught up. So thank you very much. And then the most recent ones, Lady Kosa with 8 months, White Jaw with 47, Doom Signal with 14, and Jimmy Say Rock. Thank you for the 23 months. All right. I will be right back. Stick around. More Burning Man shit when I come back.